to the expression of interest to predominantly act as anchor farmers on the developed lands. Government will also pursue the interest expressed by other international private sector operators to unlock investments and technology for the economic enclave projects. We are also using the EEP to leverage catalytic financing from key partners including MasterCard Foundation and the African Development Bank. To implement the economic enclave at scale and speed, as I mentioned, Ghana Cedis 1 billion has been allocated to Millennium Development Authority to complement PFJ 2.0. This funding will be dedicated to providing critical infrastructure including irrigation canals as well as cleaning and developing land for private sector actors in the EEP. Other key interventions under the Ghana Cares program, such as the completion of a foundry, will benefit from this funding. MEDA has a remarkable record from the implementation of 2 compacts under the Millennium Challenge Corporation, one of which was agriculture and agribusiness. They continue to demonstrate experience and ingenuity that will accelerate the delivery of the growth goals to transform agriculture in our country. Mr. Speaker, the Digital Youth Village as the key initiative under Ghana Cares involves collaboration between the Ministry of Communication and Digitalization, Ministry of Finance and University of Ghana to support tech entrepreneurs and create vibrant tech hubs. To date, the DYV project has completed the design, land location, site clearance, as well as securing an architect and contractor initiating the construction phase. Phase 1 of DYV project is expected to be completed before end December 2024. Mr. Speaker, in the area of trade, industry and export, the key operations under 1D1F free zones, export promotion, strategic and core industries and business regulatory reforms have been prioritized under the growth strategy. Altogether, earnings from non-traditional exports are expected to increase to 4 billion and 4.8 billion in 2024 from 3.51 billion in 2022. 271 license-free zone companies are expected to increase earnings to 2.19 billion in 2024 compared to earnings of 1.8 billion from 207 license-free zone companies in 2022. Mr. Speaker, Ghana remains the preferred tourist destination in the sub-region. The steady stream of domestic and international tourists also requires dedicated spaces in cities to drive a night economy and tourism. As we promote December in Ghana initiatives, we'll also work towards enhancing security and the lightening infrastructure. A task force comprising public regulators and private sector actors has already been established to drive the night economy initiative under public-private partnership arrangements. Mr. Speaker, on 14th November 2022, almost exactly a year ago, government launched the Youth Start initiative as a direct response to the employment challenge facing our country. Through this initiative, government sought to create an entrepreneurial nation by providing training, competitive funding, access to markets and technology to our youth. This is to cause a cultural shift and guide our teaming youth into entrepreneurship by assisting them to start, build and grow their own businesses. Mr. Speaker, a year on, the preparatory works have been completed. The 3 components of the initiative, Youth Start District, Entrepreneurship Program, Commercial Program, and the Youth Start Grace Program have also been developed and piloted successfully. On 20th September 2022, government signed an MOU with 11 banks and the Ghana Association of Bankers to support entrepreneurs gain access to capital to enhance their business. The Ghana Association of Banks have worked with us to train the participating financial institutions on the program and have completed the design of a technology platform to receive applications. The National Banking College has also been engaged under the program to train beneficiaries on behalf of the participating banks. Mr. Speaker, the Ghana Enterprises Agency and the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program has been brought together as a cohesive unit to co-lead the district entrepreneurship component of the USAT program. Mr. Speaker, all is set to accelerate the implementation of USAT. We are working with our partners, the World Bank, to secure additional financing, Mr. Speaker, of $150 million US. On our own, we are committing 200 million Ghana cedis to ensure that more young persons are supported into entrepreneurship. Mr. Speaker, the Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation, through their strategic partners, has completed the Mineral Resource Estimate Report that has been prepared in line with Joint Oil Reserves Committee standards. The results of the report indicate significant bauxite quantities, making the project a commercially viable one. Mr. Speaker, the master plan has been reviewed and given a seal of approval by KPMG. To ensure, Mr. Speaker, the various mineral discoveries are informed deposits of iron ore are commercially viable, a high-level mineral resource study has been commissioned by GSDEC, working with the private partners. The capital intensive activity has been uploaded to Ghanaian private partners to produce a standard bankable report at no cost to the government of Ghana. This is to ensure that the integrated iron and steel industry is not faced with a continuous decline of domestic production and processing of metallic minerals and associated dependence on foreign supplies for our needs. Mr. Speaker, key interventions to improve the business environment include enhancing the business regulatory reform, crowding in private sector financing of 20 billion through foreign direct investments, and amendments to the GIPC Act has been completed and submitted to Parliament. The Speaker, the group strategy sets ambitious targets for easing access of the domestic private sector, including medium and long-term finance at competitive rates. Government will leverage the plans of the Development Bank of Ghana, GESO, Venture Capital Trust Fund, and the Ghana Investment Infrastructure Fund to provide loans, partial guarantees, and venture capital to private entities with transformational and strategic projects in agriculture. Mr. Speaker, channels would include the Development Bank of Ghana to increase the lending volume of the Development Bank of Ghana to 2 billion cedis for 2024. For GESL to provide 350 million partial risk guarantees to leverage private sector participation in the agricultural sector. Government will also support DBG with fundraising of an additional $1 billion in 2024 to support their work. Mr. Speaker, the IFC, working with government, will pursue $500 million commitment for financing from the World Bank IFC as a partner in Ghana's Mutual Prosperity Dialogue. The recapitalization of banks. Mr. Speaker, government and the World Bank will recapitalize the banks through the Ghana Financial Stability Fund and the Financial Sector Program, with over 10 billion cedis, Mr. Speaker, to enable aggressive financing of private sector businesses. Mr. Speaker, the banks will be recapitalized in the coming week. Furthermore, venture capital trusts will be given additional funds to ensure that the private sector has access to that. Mr. Speaker, the stock of global debt as a share of global GDP was 258% last year. Moreover, as of 2022, the stock of public debt was 238%, 9 percentage points higher than in 2019. To return Ghana to a path of debt sustainability from a debt to GDP ratio of 89% Mr. Speaker, we aim to be at 66% this year. The goal is to achieve a 55% debt to GDP ratio and 18% revenue to GDP ratio over the medium term. Mr. Speaker, Ghana completed the first phase of the DDEP in February 2023, where 82 billion cedis of old domestic debts were exchanged for new bonds. In this process, Mr. Speaker, the average coupon of 9.1% were achieved with a participation rate of 84%. Mr. Speaker, we have come to the end of the domestic debt exchange program and need to focus on the external debt restructuring to further improve the debt trajectory. Even more to enable us reach the target landing zone of 55%. Mr. Speaker, discussions with Eurobond investors are continuing. We have given a broad outline of 20 to 40% haircut under 20 years and interest rates of less than 5%. Ghana bilateral creditors, Mr. Speaker, are also working with us, and we expect the OCC, Mr. Speaker, to come up with a memorandum of understanding which would ensure that this body co-chaired by France and China will deliver the appropriate MOU to the IMF for their board meeting next week. Mr. Speaker, we envision that in the coming week, also extensive discussions of our IPPs should lead to some resolutions on our payments of energy systems. And Mr. Speaker, I'm confident that this will successfully be done in the coming few days or weeks. The fund, Mr. Speaker, is also offering $250 million from the World Bank, supported by sub-fund targeted at qualifying banks and SDIs, and a CD equivalent of $500 million of GOG-funded sub-fund that will help, as I mentioned, to recapitalize the state-owned financial institution, as well as potentially supporting other indigenously controlled financial institutions. In addition, a provision of $4 billion has been made in the 2024 budget to address NIB, distressed SDIs, and other outstanding legacy policies in the financial sector. Notwithstanding the ongoing litigation commenced by shareholders of Black Shield Capital Management Limited, formerly Gold Shield Securities, the SEC will continue to engage the official liquidator and clients of the defined Black Shield to reach a consensus on a framework for a bailout, intervention, and an amicable resolution to the impact. Mr. Speaker, in the 2024 budget, government will build on the significant investment that have been made to date and promote its key interventions covering social spending, infrastructure governance, security, and climate change. Mr. Speaker, on social spending, the government's flagship free senior high school and TVET programs continues to create and expand access to secondary school education in the country. In a generation's time when we have a more educated population which sustains social mobility and cohesion, we appreciate the significance of these decisions. In the year under review, we continue to support, Mr. Speaker, far from this, in the year under review, we continue to support a total of 448,000 first-year senior high school students, bringing the total beneficiaries for 2023 academic year to 1.3 million students. In 2024, the implementation of this transformative initiative will continue. Mr. Speaker, we continue feeding grants for over 7,500 students in special schools and capitation grants to all public basic schools across the country. Additionally, registration fees of over 471,000 prospective candidates from public junior high school for the BCE were paid to guarantee that all candidates will sit for the examination. Mr. Speaker, support for beneficiaries of the LEAP program was sustained in 2023. Government invested some $298 million to support 350,000 families. In 2024, the program will improve financing by 50% more and continue to provide meals to more schools to enhance basic school enrollment. The National Health Insurance Scheme, Mr. Speaker, is now active with coverage of 60 million people, representing 80% of the targeted group. Efforts to integrate the Ghana card into the enrollment system are progressing steadily. Mr. Speaker, over 740 million has been invested to feed over 3.8 million pupils, one hot meal a day, in 10,000 of our public basic schools. In 2024, the program will continue to provide meals to enhance basic school enrollment. Mr. Speaker, we continue to improve on our road networks, and Mr. Speaker, once the official accreditor committee has made its announcement, we will continue with all extendedly funded projects that will be resumed. However, the overflowing projects are ongoing and at various stages of completion. Kumasi Lake Road and Drainage Extension Project is completed. Reconstruction of Bichem Techimanchia Akumaden Road is 71% complete. Construction of flyover on the Accra-Tema motorway from Flab Port Runabout is 60% complete. Phase 2 of the Tema motorway runabout, including construction of the third tier of the interchange, is 56% complete. Construction of 4 major bypasses at Osino, Enyinem, Inyirisi, and Konongo along the Accra-Kumasi Highway commenced in 2023 and are various stages of completion. Reconstruction of Agona and Kwantatopa Road is 44% complete. Dualization of 4 main roads and traffic management works 100% complete. Selected roads in Second D and Takoradi Phase 1 is 28% complete. Dualization of Insawam of Franco Road, including the widening of the road to 10 lanes with a 6-lane expressway and 4-lane service road interchanges at Amasaman, Kobiman, Midyear, and Insawam project is 30% complete. Construction of 4-tier interchange at Swame in the Ashanti region has commenced. Mr. Speaker, the following project under the Master Project Agreement with Sino Hydro Corporation has been completed. Tamale Interchange, Western Region and Corpus Inner City Roads, construction of Hohoi Jasikan Dodi Pepesi, 64.4 kilometers, upgrading of selected feeder roads in Ashanti and Western Region. However, the following are at various stages of completion. Sunyani Inner City Roads, construction of Sunyani and Brekum Inner City Roads, PTC Runabout Interchange Takoradi 80%. Mr. Speaker, government is in the preparation for the reconstruction of the Accra-Tema motorway under the road sector's public-private partnership will give its own course. The concession agreement and draft engineering, procurement and construction EPC agreement have been approved by Cabinet and will be submitted to Parliament for approval shortly. Mr. Speaker, government infrastructure program will also be anchored on a strong private sector collaboration. To this end, government will continue to pursue the mining sector road rehabilitation projects to improve the road network in mining communities. Government will begin the formalization of agreements with the mining companies and mining-related industries to fund and commence the rehabilitation of roads in the mining enclaves in 2024. Selected communities include Tapradi Agona and Kanta, Tapradi Dualization and Township, Presia Bogoso, Bogoso Township, Dumpa Obuasi Township, Ashia and Kanta Manso in Grand Konongo. Mr. Speaker, to promote trade and transit on the Tema port, the capacity of Tema Hospital Road will be improved under PPP arrangements. Accordingly, government has developed a deed of transfer to be executed. Mr. Speaker, government has renegotiated the contract terms of the large general hospital project and will now be funded through the national budget. The contractor is expected, Mr. Speaker, to be back on site next week to complete a significant amount of work by 2024. Mr. Speaker, in accordance with government's strong commitment to industrialization, a total of 169 one district, one factory projects are currently operational, leading to a total employment of 169,000. An additional 152 factories are currently under construction and expected to be fully operational in 2024. These industries are expected to increase value addition and support our efforts to reset the economy. Mr. Speaker, to improve connectivity within the sub-region and facilitate tourism, the upgrading of the Tamale Airport has been completed. To complement this effort and facilitate trade through Ghana's transit corridor, the construction of the Bonkra Integrated Logistical Terminal is being executed and is about 54% complete. Following the approval of Ghana's Energy Transition Investment Plan, government has commenced the development of a national electric vehicle policy as part of efforts to create an enabling environment for the uptake of electric vehicles. Mr. Speaker, government has rolled out the National Rental Assistance Scheme in February 2023 to ease the burden of huge rent advance payments by prospective tenants. Mr. Speaker, government continued works on phase 3 of the Security Services Housing Program involving the construction of 320 units for the Ghana Police Service at the Ghana National Police Training School, Tesano. In addition, work commenced on the first phase of the revised National Affordable Housing Program at Kokwase that was launched by His Excellency the President and the Minister of Works and Housing. Government will commence work on the National Affordable Housing Project at the Deso in the Ashanti region to complement the Kokwase project. Mr. Speaker, under the Infrastructure for Poverty Eradication Program, government continues to embark on strategic investments across our communities nationwide in line with the Fiscal Consolidation Plan. Through the development authorities, over 340 projects were completed in 2023 and accordingly handed over to the beneficiary communities. Rural telephony. Mr. Speaker, government constructed a total of 1,010 rural telephony sites under the Rural Telephony and Digital Inclusion Project to provide voice signals in and unserved communities. In 2024, the remaining 1,006 sites will be built and integrated and financed for voice and data services to ensure reliable, affordable, and secure broadband infrastructure under the infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, with regards to rural electrification, in line with government to achieve universal access to electricity by 2024, a total of 189 communities have been connected to the national grid, with 211 communities at various stages of completion. The national electricity access is estimated to have reached 88.85% as of the third quarter of 2023. Our goal, of course, is to exceed 90% by the end of 2024. Mr. Speaker, under the Girls in ICT initiative, 2,000 girls and 200 ICT teachers in the Savannah and Northern regions were trained. Additionally, a total of 287 laptops were presented to the best performing students and teachers in both the Savannah and Northern regions. In 2024, 3,000 girls and 300 ICT teachers will be trained in Ashanti, Greater Accra and Water regions. Government, Mr. Speaker, seeks to continue to find a program to resource the one laptop per child program so that the population will become tech savvy. Mr. Speaker, we will look to raise appropriate financing for this. Mr. Speaker, the Ghana.gov platform deployed in 2020 has onboarded 1541 MDAs, MMDAs, and state-owned enterprises, with 130 of these entities actively utilizing platform for various functions, including processing payments. This has yielded a total of 164 billion since its inception. In 2024, NITA will enroll government agencies responsible for revenue collection onto the platform, to government engagement, and allow persons with disability to address the platform to foster inclusiveness. Mr. Speaker, the new Conduct of Public Officers Act seeks to address current weakness in asset declaration system. The new Act will introduce provisions that ensure public officers submit their declaration in time and that an effective verification system is in place. The draft bill is under consideration by Cabinet and will be submitted to Parliament subsequently. Government will also committed to ensuring the implementation of the second phase of the National Anti-Corruption Action Plan to foster public accountability and transparency. Mr. Speaker, government will continue to resource the Ghana Armed Forces to collaborate with other security services in the operations such as Cowleg, Calm Life, Halt, Gongon, Conquered Fit, etc. Mr. Speaker, the establishment of 15 forward operating bases along the northern border of the country to also prevent cross-border crimes and terrorist infiltration are also progressing steadily. In addition, the FOB at its level in the Western region is 55% complete. Mr. Speaker, internal security by the Ghana Police Force continues to be sustained, and Mr. Speaker, the police service improved community watch program for professional motorbike riders has elevated the sense of security in the country. The service received 100 Toyota Hilux pickups, 6 armored personnel carriers, and 600 motorbikes to augment the fleet of the Foreign Police Visibility and Motorbike Patrol units to enhance their work. Mr. Speaker, Immigration Service is also being improved. The service also conducted 5,900 inspections at various locations and bringing much security to the country. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of independent power producers, government has continued to engage key operational independent power producers in positive and constructive bilateral negotiations. Engagements have centered on the sustainability of Ghana's energy sector, as well as the restructuring of legacy IPPs and power purchase agreements, future-proven timely payment to IPPs going forward, and the implementation of critically needed energy sector reforms. Government aims, Mr. Speaker, to finalize commercial agreements with key IPPs in the coming weeks. Mr. Speaker, government remains mindful and appreciative of the continuing commitment on the part of IPPs not only to support Ghana's power sector, but to collaborate with government and the ECG to achieve sustainable future for the sector, while shoring up Ghana's reputation as a compelling investment climate. Mr. Speaker, Ghana has been at the forefront for advocacy for a fit-for-climate global financial architecture while expanding its engagement to mobilize climate financing. At the 2023 IMF World Bank Global Annual Meetings, Ghana secured critical financing to support climate adaptation and mitigation measures. These include $54 million to establish a Ghana Share Landscape Emission Reduction Project, $4.8 million successfully earned by reducing nearly 1 million tons of carbon emissions through forestry conservation. We expect to earn over $45 million in 2024. Additionally, government has signed 6 MOUs with Switzerland, Singapore, Sweden, South Korea, as well as some public and private entities in line of Article 6 of the Paris Agreement. Mr. Speaker, our leadership as chair of the Climate Vulnerable Forum and the Vulnerable 20 Group is a prime example directed by our Ministers of Finance, Environment, Science and Technology and Innovation and Foreign Affairs. Under Ghana's tenure, we've not only raised our global standing in climate discussions, but also championed the interests of climate vulnerable nations. Our President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo chairs the CVF. Since 2021, under the direction of Ghana's direction, the CVF and V20 have driven a forward-thinking agenda to counter climate change threats. Crucially, Ghana has been instrumental in pushing for reforms in the global financial system to make a more conducive environment for resilient growth and sustainable development. Mr. Speaker, advocating for reform the global financial system underscores our commitment to focus on a future where climate resilient growth and sustainable development are at the forefront. By championing this, Ghana will lead with a vision for climate resilience in a more environmentally imperative way. It is a pathway to enduring prosperity and stability for developing countries globally, ensuring that we are equipped to face climate challenges while progressing towards a sustainable and prosperous future. Mr. Speaker, today I have highlighted our collective achievements as a nation to this august House. I've also demonstrated how our investment over the last 7 years have positively impacted individuals, households, businesses, and communities. We have, Mr. Speaker, a safer country. We have a more physically and digitally connected society. We have a more educated and skilled population. Through our policy approach, the foundation for a country has been laid where ingenuity being encouraged, innovation is supported, public service is valued, responsibility is shared, prosperity is shared, and accountability for the custodianship of public resources is prioritized. Mr. Speaker, this is marked change from when I first stood before this House on 2nd March 2017. At that time, Mr. Speaker, doomsday had decimated the incomes of businesses and households. The financial sector was weak and near collapse. Trained nurses had stayed home for years without employment. NHIS was in arrears for over a year. A sizable number of Ghanaians were unable to access senior high school education. Above all, our economic prospects had dimmed considerably. I refer then to the biblical story of 5 loaves and 2 fishes to illustrate the approach in turning the economy around. Mr. Speaker, I stood here in March 27 and asked that the country's poultry, 2 fishes and 5 loaves be multiplied. Indeed, as a young boy gave all he had to the multitudes, so have we. And the Lord, in response, has blessed our nation, and this we should not forget. From a nominal GDP, Mr. Speaker, of 262 billion in 2017 to 1 trillion in 2014. Invested in the future of our children under the free SHS program, with 1.2 million students having access to free secondary school education. We supported the poor and vulnerable through an enhanced LEAP program by increasing the number of beneficiary households from 212,000 in 2017 to 350,000 in 2023, with an aim of 450,000 in the medium term. We invested in provisioning 1 cup nutrition meal per day to 3.2 million pupils in our basic schools and provided steady income stream for 32,496 caterers. We invested the most in the construction, rehabilitation, and upgrading of major roads network across the country. We supported small businesses with 750 million during the COVID-19 pandemic through the CAPBAS program and other interventions. We invested, Mr. Speaker, in making sure that all public workers were paid every month during the COVID-19 pandemic, including the teachers who were paid for all the 9 months when the academic calendar was disrupted. We invested to strategically establish 160 factories across the districts under 1D1F. Investing in the expansion of health infrastructure in every district under the Agenda 111 initiative, the greatest healthcare push in the history of our country. Mr. Speaker, let me make this opportunity to recognize the strong partnership that has coexisted between the government and organized labor over this period. I also want to use the occasion to thank the leadership of organized labor for their positive cooperation since 2017. Yesterday, as I mentioned, 14th November 2023, we successfully concluded negotiations for the 2024 single spine salary structure, the base pay, which culminated in a 23% increase in the base pay of the single spine salary structure across board from January to June 2024, and a readjustment of an additional 2% to 25% from July 2024 to December 2024. This wouldn't have been possible without the cooperation and strong leadership of labor unions. We thank you. Since then, we have stayed focused on our plans. However, it is not smooth sailing. There have been ebbs and flows. We have faced severe headwinds since March 2022 as an economy. The economy has faced multiple shocks. We have not created enough jobs and food inflation remains high, creating hardships, and we are committed to tackling this. However, we are re-anchoring our path using the PCPEG as our compass, our true north. Mr. Speaker, backed by the PCPEG, the 2023 budget seeks to restore and sustain macroeconomic stability. With hard work and the grace of God, we are on the path of stability and growth. Thankfully, a sense of a new beginning has taken hold. Despite our remarkable progress in the last 10 months, risks still abound. In October 2023, the IMF reported that global recovery remains low with little margin for error. The Kenyan Finance Minister also noted in September 2023, and I quote, "All low and middle income countries are walking a tightrope given the current economic constraints globally." Mr. Speaker, we are aware of these pressures and risks. So far, the implementation of government PCPEG, which addresses these pressures, is delivering the immediate intended results. We have successfully concluded the domestic debt operations and are making steady progress on external debt restructuring. We are implementing the new growth strategy, which prioritizes the completion of key transformative interventions to improve the quality of life and welfare of our people. Mr. Speaker, for our future, large public spending and deficits cannot remain embedded in our public policy program. So after achieving macroeconomic stability, the gains will be anchored on enhanced fiscal responsibility rules. The IMF is already working with us to strengthen these rules in order to maintain macroeconomic stability and implement structural reforms needed to sustain the country on a strong path of economic growth and transformation. Mr. Speaker, to achieve the 2024 budget has been developed to ensure the accelerated implementation of the PCPEC program, to expand investment in the rural sector, to implement the new growth strategy, to consolidate and complete the ongoing infrastructural work, and to mobilize climate finance to enable us to build resilience. The policy outlines in this budget will also ensure that Ghana remains attractive for domestic and foreign investment. The feedback from my extensive engagement with key stakeholders have also been included in our policy choices. Mr. Speaker, more importantly, the various components of the government-owned financial ecosystem, such as Development Bank of Ghana, GCB, CBG, GESL, Ghana Commodity Exchange, GIFT, Venture Capital, Trust Fund, GEA, will all be strengthened to enable us to address the concerns of the private sector in respect of access to credit, access to skills, labor, and raw materials. Mr. Speaker, we do this knowing that the key to our prosperity is not handing out free goods and services to our underprivileged folks. Rather, it is by providing skills and financing to enable people to generate income and jobs. Mr. Speaker, we continue to optimize our tourism infrastructure. Improvements in key tourist sites have been complemented by aggressive marketing to reposition Ghana. Next month, as in recent years, our country will expect to an increase in tourists seeking to patronize the December in Ghana event. Our investment in CCTVs on our roads and provisions of increased logistics for the security services will continue to support these events and make them memorable. These investments would also facilitate the hosting of the 13th All Africa Games in Accra from 8th to 23rd March 2024. This will put Ghana in the spotlight. In addition, Ghana has strategically positioned itself to mobilize climate financing and champion a fit-for-climate global architecture. Mr. Speaker, we also are creating a new financing division at the ministry to ensure that we stay ahead of the game. Mr. Speaker, a new and exciting opportunity is Ghana's newfound wealth in lithium and graphite, which will be extracted in line with the green minerals policy to support our energy transition. Mr. Speaker, the Minerals Income Investment Fund has acquired a 6% contributing interest in Atlantic Lithium's Ghana portfolio. This will lead us to a new negotiating posture for all future extractive industry investments. Mr. Speaker, in line with Ghana's localization policy, Atlantic Lithium will list on the Ghana Stock Exchange to further enhance and deepen local participation. Mr. Speaker, we are in a better place than we were before. The nation has been positively impacted and positioned to harness its prospects. We must move forward courageously, for as 2 Timothy 1 says, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but, Mr. Speaker, a spirit of courage and of love and of a sound mind, and we must press on. It is in this same vein, Mr. Speaker, of courage and power that we have forged a resilience since 2017. It's important to recall that despite, Mr. Speaker, the poly crisis of 2019, the poly crisis in 2020, we have together taken, Mr. Speaker, all of us, a GDP of 219 billion to 1 trillion GDP this year. A key lesson from this leap since 2017 is for us, Mr. Speaker, to eschew unfounded pessimism and nihilism. We have shown, Mr. Speaker, that it is possible. It is possible to triple, to quadruple our GDP. It is possible to create a technologically savvy environment. It is possible to be the investment hub of the region. We should therefore, Mr. Speaker, be collectively proud of ourselves and the can-do spirit of our people. We have proven that a lot more is possible if we stay the course and believe in a future of immense possibilities. To realize our common aspiration, Mr. Speaker, we must continue to speak one language. This is Ghana, a nation united in diversity, a resilient nation on the path to manifest destiny. Every opportunity to safeguard our progress must be protected by adherence to exhortations of Genesis 11:6, that if we speak one language, we can do the impossible. Mr. Speaker, we therefore present to you the Inkunim Victory Budget, a people with a manifest destiny for greatness. We are resilient and we shall prevail because, Mr. Speaker, as we have always said, the battle is indeed the Lord's. God bless our homeland Ghana and make us steadfast to build together a nation that is great and strong in unity. Mr. Speaker, so I do.
Wabatele Accra FM, yeah, mommy. Wabatele Accra FM, yeah, mommy. Wabatele Accra FM, yeah, mommy. Wabatele Accra FM, yeah, mommy.
Accra FM 100.5.
Oh, with Nana, Bobie, Ansah on the Citizen Show. Stay with Nana, Bobie, Ansah. All the politics you can know on Accra FM 100.5. Due to the Citizen Show, Nana, Bobie, Ansah. Yeah, yeah. Oh, with Nana, Bobie, Ansah on the Citizen Show. Stay with Nana, Bobie, Ansah. All the politics you can know on Accra FM 100.5. Due to the Citizen Show, Nana, Bobie, Ansah. Yeah, yeah.
All right, so that's it live on Accra 100.5 Citizen Show. It's so sad, eh? So sad, so sad, so sad. Minim enema what ye every year Kenoforiata, and Kenoforiata is telling us the city is stabilized.
Accra FM.
Kenoforiata. Catch Ghana for say Omatimiya stabilizes city no at 12 cities, and as of this morning 12.5 almost stabilizing no. From 2000 to 2008 a year Yera Tamils and John Mahama efa ye economy no. Omo de koya kodru eye your friend say 4.2 or 4 $1 to 4 Ghana cedis, right? Or 3.8, which is which? But at least the figures show and that is within 8 years of Mills Mahama administration. It is no more than 3 cedis. Within 7 years, what me are adding 9 Ghana cedis. 9 cedis. And Awa Muhammad say oh pick a dollar from 1 to 1, call 1 to 4. Now they offer free 1 to 4, call 1 to 12. No, they offer free a difference 9. No, aya dear chain difference 3. Madness. Because Stephen Tim, national chairman, a catch and say onka waka a damn madness. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But waka, why free? Then we had this issue about a year. Your friend is saying, almost say a year sanitary pad. Pacho freke ojibamwa. Almost say sanitary pad. So sanitary pad. Almost say sanitary pad. Companies now manufacture sanitary pads. Ewo Ghana hano. Omo awavy taxes. Free almost so. The question is, the quality ne say how many companies and the Ghana ha ya omo manufacture sanitary pads. Omo operational costs. Bet me aton for. Ama sabi yenu ama no manya bi ato. Okay, so when you the ebeja your friend say budget no kwai for the day. Thank you so much. Doma Motienka on Benya FM in Elmina and Tamale Dagbon FM. We are grateful. Yadamwase pa Moswa mo follow ye through parliamentary proceedings. Yadamwase. All right, so more move to me follow you through proceedings near the mass. Star 413 hash star 413 hash. Make I Ghana for say me che obia 1,000 Ghana cedis. Ya page free 500 equal 1,000. Ya page free 500 Ghana cedis equal 1,000 cedis. Mesra men tra wan che na nka nchem se Bobie na menya bi na mfa kosia. Right? All right. Okay, so when you're ready there, let me just move on. Okay, so star 413 hash, star 413 hash, and then me check 1,000 Ghana cedis. See, I'm just catching here. Just go through the process. The process no do be kwa baby papa. Yeah, board draw no na so we near. What the 1,000 Ghana cedis and ekofi. All right, so apart from the budget issues, you want penny football, you know, in common, but I'm a Ghana. So let me go back to the studios. Hold on and go back to the studios. My colleague, your friend, is say KOJ, Class FM, and KOJ was say okay. So okay, Akwaba.
Yeah, Commander.
So highlights will be in the budget. Say.
Okay, so would you highlights will be say. O mine ebetimi akwanenim o say baby ayedru no ohun say niema bebina ene dai niema ebetimi by 2024 the o mine no ebekonni pa potokasa beka say our future growth prospects and brighter and in some kind of frata kan ebio o say revenues ya gigi 2023 no en so etimi akwanenim pa na ogidi say by 2024 no na adobo ababedu
pekaswa ye to revenue
ya gigi no akoye in 2023.
Just you know omuska.
Oh, isika ho, no correct.
Omuska. Waka chere so omuska.
It 2024 no ogidi say ebetimi adouble lap na omano nso etimi akonkan. Na ade ba akonkan on social media ma fa react ye pa na me monitor YouTube comment. Or say over 2.3 million jobs created in private and public sectors. Abino created 2.3 million jobs. Now on social media, no share sabi atim di amanfu edi kenofrata any
na abino.
Because the question is that has the government empowered the private sector enough to employ people? So we empower private sector now, and a private sector bit I'm empowering for, but the private sector is seeing nothing from government.
No, but if we are talking about employment figures, me pacho educate me here.
Okay.
Omo ba the figures na bre ya. Omo the private sector me ma bia madwuma ma fa enkrofo. Ya ban achievement.
David.
So where is this about 2.5 million public and private?
Sana kenofrata kai.
No, where is it coming from? We just want to know the public service.
Yeah.
Buying offer in Crawford say what creative jobs to say. You understand?
Yeah.
And she say no. Okay, so obi at the lotto. Wakobi kiosk wafeni patre. Abai na afa Crawford no. Yakuvado achievement. Is that what?
Yes. That's
is that what they want to tell us?
Yeah.
And they say no. Omo Peace FM. Accra FM, Adoma FM, nyina ye kufado achievement.
I say no so ka private sector no ho ntino. Aban no e push private sector no.
Into your achievement.
Into your achievement.
Into Asasi radio. Yeah, Asasi radio what can say kufado achievement.
You see and it raises concern say indeed why empower the private sector? Not private sector no. Tell us how you empower the private sector. And it's a Accra FM, it be a 2023, it's me for Nipa Bear 10, Eka Edumere for a general Yedema Accra FM in Tia, office a Jumani Kong, kind money employee Nipa Bear 10 Eka. That is the breakdown you're supposed to
do. You see, let me tell you something. And no, Kwame, and no, make this story be, or say, Chairman's story be majority leader. To one young one female. And no, or say, Chairman's supposed to say, public sector, no, it contain about 600,000 workers. And even with that, you know, one more bad beteso because a buying person to me handles 600,000 people. So, a person can say 1.7 million a year from the private sector. Is that what? Because and they are and I'll say Chairman supposed to the figures by say we have about 600,000. Our public sector, you know, credit also.
I got a amount for off.
You believe amount for off. Anyway, because my highlights now. Okay.
But on taxes, not say government to implement zero rate tax on locally produced sanitary pads, grant import duty waivers for raw materials for local manufacturers of sanitary pads. Not just say, sanitary pads or krumadi, zero rate of tax, and like tax bia and naso.
Sorry, we'll be sending message. We'll say. Kwabena, with this analogy, then how many people did Mahama employed because of KGTR market alone? You get it?
That's
because a government project.
Yeah.
And KGTR alone, over 3,000-4,000 people were in a year Juma. Indian Kankai. Anyway, let's go.
And abandonment duty waivers for raw materials are your credit from on the eba now we sanitary parts of Kumano and also buying eba betiteso or baby a taxes benefits and a bear on me Accra nom da juma ewo kruma intending some
but the luxurious tax in there is still there.
It's still there.
The luxurious tax is still there.
It's still there.
On sanitary part is still there.
It's still there.
Now we know a port waivers.
Yeah, port waivers.
And dear baby also moon to your taxes.
And any omo kruma no mo sanitary pass and no tax be under so.
But the luxurious tax.
But luxurious tax
is still pending.
Yes, it's still pending.
When you free.
That when you free.
Yanko.
After so government targets overall real GDP growth of 2.8%. Or say planting for food and jobs no. After you know one eba be focus on poultry. Send a the high rate of importing enam at the back room hano. That is a binding news who said the planting for food and jobs 2024 year. That is the target. That is the target for planting for food and jobs, and it's quite shocking.
In 7 years in you know, no more.
So in the last 7 years, it tells you that planting for food and jobs are buying a failure with that policy, because if after 7 years are failing, now Babeka say you only focus on poultry, yeah, then where have we gone bad, and where are we going?
Me taken of that, I felt like I feel no more bab a bemu for the first year. And no more do yeah. That was the kind of feeling, the vibes. Anyway, just finish now.
I see CD only depreciated by 6.4% since February 2023. And the CD depreciation here comes from February basis media or just say CD no ejina suyepa because of IMF first tranche of $600 million in Saka anything. It me stable near mafia gold for oil and also stable Ghana CD ni pa.
I mention IMF. And I mention good for oil.
Good for oil.
Good for oil no mkofa ba ko ba mako bio.
Or say a stable Ghana CD.
Omoko oil no mako bio.
Debi. But ba ko pe no etima ya wanwade okroma.
Open bi we studio I say no odin ko say but I sorry yesterday. Anyway, let's go.
It's good for oil na ayan commander ayan wade papa okroma. No so e can no say every household positively impacted by social intervention program. Not just say if you be a wokroma or Ghana hano one way or the other ubia a social interventions program abide by no about bia uni social intervention programs are binded by 2017 if you be a wokroma the obi ntimi nka nkyere se ne onya ne chefa ewo social intervention programs abide by no. Everybody has tasted the benefits of the social intervention programs in Okroma.
No, he's asking how.
Because there were no breakdowns into that social interventions. Say a year leap, say a year school feeding program, no, or just say if you be, but not all families. And I say Bubenya Obi wa oko free SHS at this moment. Their families are make maka say Obi Ukraine wa ebi are enjoying free SHS at the moment. It took us say every household has enjoyed a social intervention program. That is a wrong figure. And I'm wondering which agency and which department they provided the finance minister with those figures.
Okay.
Ebio or say it's evidence. Say we have turned the corner. All indicators, macroeconomic, microeconomic indicators, etc. And baby, I want to some do mind about do
So, what is the effect of the macro, whatever, on the food we buy, our water bills, our light bills, rent, cost of living?
That is the question. Say all these indicators do not reflect the pockets of the ordinary Ghanaian. So reflected, yeah, because okay, then the indicators are good. But if still prices are good, prices will go up, especially with rice, oil, and will go up because they believe that this is a peak time. A lot of Ghanaians will patronize some of these products. And so it's clearly, and I'm sure that going forward we'll be speaking to some economists to tell us how does these indicators reflect in the pockets of the ordinary Ghanaian.
Okay, all right, let's go.
Ebio Oka about existing warehouse to be improved to support the bumper harvest. Or say 2024 because ye beko election amafo bebina no ehu be hia ewo niema bebremu nemum existing warehouse na bibisa say warehouse ahina aban ezimesi.
No, but I think
one district one warehouse. Where is that policy?
I think that can orientate, you know. esenka ye makwa say obi kasa wie o parliament a ye busa no questions no akire nyina wantimi no atwe abaasi ni so because some of our
what is that 137 episode be no
okay and you see warehouse no one.
That's the question, because so say what warehouse to improve bumper harvester. How many warehouse
and bumper harvester every
because planting for food and jobs now it is suffering. So how do we get the bumper harvest?
Planting for food no poultry and
yes
the bumper harvest.
So where is the bumper harvest?
Where is it?
Because now it cry out the voter region eduani be near free or cry about the crowd so it's going to have an effect in this bumper harvest where come as me. And
you see Kenoforiata ayame ngwa kakra wa wonu ya pania or no ya president went to Paris last week. Omukobusa na eduani asma also from this year next year to 2027 or whatever Ghana is going to face hunger. And the bumper harvest no way.
However,
you are saying something different. The president is saying something.
Also saying something different.
And this president is the first president that matters was in Suatodunte Kombeba.
Commander, La General Hospital. Wamu bubuno. Kenofrata say next week contractor beba site.
Also amakunya 15 million euro.
Yes. Say initial na budget in 68 million euros. Or since there's swat about 50 million euros.
In the 18 the 18 way.
Yenim. 18 am faso e ba kwada aban futu. But next week contractor beba site. Enti we no commander next week in the we are going heavy on that promise.
There you $18 million.
Away.
Say euros. Away. You went to parliament and I'll say $68 million
euros.
Euros. And a parliament approve ye.
I've also swat about 50.
So then you went back to the same parliament telling them say me the 50 and
it's next week. It's in Lafono. Mo hwe nim say contractor bus site. Nyame adoma next week. Affordable housing. Niki nimsan ko bebo saglemi
one touch on
debi okay now you are the president e kwasha say ipokwase
yeah
okay say it will be completed. So you get money to fund your friend say pokwase there no forgetting that saglemi there kwa the year you here just finishing touches
na pokwase there no so ko share agreement na rebe ho
it's sad.
3 foreign companies including 2 Dev Traco Estates and another company, and they are coming into this your friend say agreement and our project with just $50 million. Ghana government provided land, lights, drainages, water. We are some companies no e wo mu 60%, Ghana government wo mu 40%.
Yaboka. Commander inti affordable house inti sagle media ni de yam forget it. Nya dia in the next fiscal year ni de you be who be about saglemi.
But sagleme I have heard say omo they have sold it.
Such
Sagleme is gone. I'm telling you.
Eti commander no afi so say aban na hwe say obe finalize commercial agreements with the IPPs because earlier no energy experts can say on 2024 dum so be samba. Okay, say maybe twa mu some months ago no mag aban deadline July 30th deadline be aban ko patch wa ke ya ko dum so. Na one solve issue no. After say your more finalize bibia nti no with IPPs no next year no dum so be anywhere back room abiu. Nti no that's the assurance aban no edi amaye.
Okay.
Nti no dum so.
Na say dum so no everything.
I said dum so the who be free because it looks like e do you maybe a labani ha kusi cantonment light off. Yeah, you work as one from anapa kusi ewia mo ho no. E do so ne adum. Ibo ho na ba enwumre ho no until the next morning. You need be free. Grid for the share VR phone so they share ECG blame games in Kwan.
All right.
So when some of the highlights
yeah. Okay, so Keoje, thank you so much. Yeah, that's it. So am I near Makakra.
Police force and also can a housing project no.
Okay.
Police for military for so account just
say omo to omo no ma form no nsase no.
Also will be ready very soon.
Omo to police for no. And a police lance no what actually no I want to say right aviation actually one.
Yeah, aviation yeah.
Omo to omo no mo na fa. See am na wo krom. Omo de baba be si a high buildings na omo area yomo business.
Commander na ohwe minority for placards omo rezi ya na mamhwe near omo ebi say last barrier last barrier omo we crack 2024 do ma be.
So which means this time around no new taxes.
Debi you take taxes bia
and the otachi was why only sanitary pardon.
Yeah. Ansah. So a food and beverages for no no food and beverage for there. No, most of them now was on how to bring the prices of foodstuffs down. That's on the food for but beverages and so there. I mean I'm sure say subsequently the because earlier and round on class the Beverage Association said Wamani Finance Minister Asia several times on how to adjust some of these prices and taxes.
But they are not mentioned.
They are not mentioned.
So it remains the 20% on
it remains, yeah.
Okay. What about the banking sector?
Banking sector, and also he made a lot of promises. I didn't capture here, but I'm sure that I'll come back. I'll get that figures again. I'll be then also update here for you, Commander. It's winning some of the highlights finance minister by, but I mean lots of people are not too happy with the delivery because it looks like we are going back to history. Then seven present situation with history.
Oh yeah, no, how many Bible quotations?
Oh, as usual, beginning and the end. On my quotation back from the beginning, Baku be firm in the middle, and we so no Bible quotation back so by. So I could count about 3 Bible quotations on the by. As usual, only say finance minister to me Casabra on for Bible quotation. As usual, the whites up and down, no, and on a share by with the coat of farm says answer bonnet cocoso.
Yeah, and I come down, say I come in. All right, Keoji, thank you. Live in the studio here, my former president, Chartered Institute of Taxation Ghana and fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, Mr. Mike Kofi Aflu. And I'm in a studio, I say. And Ghana for any dom ya mo monetize mo bekaya anyway or they and Krata Koda Parliament say, look, ye seek 52 billion Ghana cedis. And you know every Ghana commercial bank. A story about no so atibie and also Parliament said they should probe into the matter. On 2-3 occasions, Yanina have discussions on phone, and today he is here with us live in the studio. And a dominant people mute across the world. Baby Bia will be an you assume ye bedim komo. We are a list of our noms Charles Nyame Samson Aringobit. They will join us here in the studio for us to talk about a year and the budget course. Chief Agwawa.
Yanya Bobie.
Pacho Bokode.
Yamia Dumo.
Eden Yamia Sefinsia Paso.
I've been coming to you.
A Brenya Mom was a Brenya, ABC Bassa.
Oh. We requested the same member.
Yes, but my updates on your petition to Parliament. What is new?
Yo, Medasi. First, me the petition to come. The chairman of the Public Accounts Committee.
Okay.
Honorable James Aveji. And Oka say the proper procedure, and they say it should be led by a member of Parliament.
Okay.
And the Mesan de Berutu through Honorable Samuel Okujetu Ablakwa.
Okay.
And Honor obeying properly through the procedure to the speaker.
Okay.
The speaker no unfair the ama.
But when you could talk as also say.
Was he Nisaka petition or the member speaker.
Okay, so there are a series of conversations that you didn't. First point, these issues about taxes, and minim say you be dia baby rubber be a person but and utie the finance minister, Papa, I to say.
Media and a budget now, finance minister, I'll just use one word to describe the budget.
One word.
And the word is empty.
It's empty.
Empty. One word.
Why empty?
Because it did okay. I mean, what were the expectations of Ghanaians? And then what did he come to say? Most of the issues are not. Most of the issues are not. He didn't touch on any of them. Some basic things are the sanitary pass in Yamanyama, Guta for agitations there. Because as we speak now, the taxes and levies on imported raw materials.
Yeah.
Maku 20. Your import duty, import VAT, processing fee, ECOWAS levy, network charge VAT, network charge COVID-19 health, Ghana Shippers Authority SNF fee, your import NHIL, network charge NHIL, 1% withholding tax on import, GHS disinfection fee, MOTI EIDF fee, special import levy 2%, Ghana Export Import Bank Exim levy, Ghana Education Trust Get Fund import, network charge Get Fund levy, inspection fee, African Union import levy, and a COVID-19 health recovery levy 20. And all the raw materials by Porter, you are paying all these levies and fees, and then he didn't touch on any of these.
So say yes sanitary pad that opportunity to run away from these taxes.
And no ground how many taxes away. They should have removed all the taxes on sanitary pads. Yes, they should have removed all the taxes and levies on sanitary pads. But no. Well, be a breakdown be over one for 2 jadia. But these are stunning. Who could possibly say all these 20 taxes and levies are there? It like I said, I would describe this budget as empty.
Would take kind of Friata, how do you feel?
I saw him as a joker trying to make people laugh. Yeah, because his own people rejected him. They were calling for his removal. And somewhere along the line, they were forced to abandon that plan. Yeah, so the man is not qualified to be there.
So why do you think he's still there?
Well, whoever put him there wants him to be there. Family and friends.
The ordinary on up as what now?
Yes. Because woman himself say Ufiwa, some of the things that he may have done in favor of this government will be exposed. And then
but say Ufiwa, the same government, whoever comes in, central government, the executive powers not to reveal certain things.
Well, it depends on the power or but say Obia Wanaji.
Yeah.
So you don't know what the new person will also uncover. Maybe what he will uncover, he will not be prepared to shield it.
Yeah.
And it's better to let him be there for Ghanaians to suffer.
Okay, Ghanaians to suffer as a chartered accountant.
Yeah.
Your current situation, yeah, nisha.
I told somebody this morning, say, even if you remove some nuisance taxes,
Yeah.
and your CD continues to depreciate, you are back to ground zero.
Also, must stabilize the city, no.
Oh, from the way.
So
From
I
the
also,
way.
you heard him saying,
Oh.
must stabilize the city.
He's just reading, a storybook to us. But in practice, see, a stable wife. Where? At the Bank of Ghana, Kasakra Boka. Now, or no, a regulator, no. What is stable city? You can't stabilize your own house. How do you stabilize the country? Bank of Ghana, ain't be stabilize Bank of Ghana. So how do you even, stabilize Ghana? No, the Obisa, you stabilizing currency. I don't see it.
Now it's 12 something.
Yes. From 3.8 something in 2016. So how can you tell me, say, you have stabilized the city? It doesn't make sense.
Now we are talking about imports,
Yeah.
taxes, and Yema Wakwako raise from Parliament. It's clear, say, I didn't hear empty. Now Ghanaians are asking, where do we go from here?
Well, to me, I will only say that it's for Ghanaians to wait patiently and change the government next year. Because under this government, I don't see any different thing being done to improve the condition of life of anybody. I don't see it.
Oh, say, you're turning corner.
From where?
No, that's what he said. You're turning corner. So, I mean, now I feel you see a quiet so I echo.
You're turning corner, U10 and I say Y10. Because me who corner be you're turning way. La Paz and I say you're turning way Kaswa. I don't see it.
Yeah.
Yes, really, I don't see it. Because they say over 1,000 Ghana. We 50 cities was what? In the next 1 hour, Ebesa.
They are useless.
Oh. I don't see it, honestly. Unless somebody is able to convince me. But with the budget he read, say Obi, can say hope more, and then order no. To me, it is empty because it doesn't solve the fundamental issues. And like I'm saying that all kinds of stabilize the city. Look, even if they were to remove nuisance taxes, so far as the city continues to depreciate, you are back to ground zero. It will not solve any problem.
So 7 years in Eden, what happened?
Well, when you have a leadership of incompetent people, that is what you get. We have the men, but they don't have the men. The finance minister himself is not a tax man. So how do you expect him to know and understand tax policies and be able to think
He is
outside
not
the
a
box?
tax man.
He is not a tax man like Setekbe. Setekbe was a tax man and a finance man. Ofoneta is not.
Oh, yeah.
Or a banker. Or an investment banker.
I see.
He is not a tax expert.
So that's the difference.
Yes. I mean, come on. If you're not a tax man, how can you think outside the box when it comes to taxation?
So he's just a banker.
Yes. That is who he is. So what do you expect?
Would you say say to the point say we can turn things around?
Under this government, no. Under this government, nothing can be turned around. Nothing. Under this government, with 1 year to go, nothing can be turned around. Trust me. Nothing.
yes, situation, the economic situation, inflation, nothing.
So la general government hospital there, can say they are now going to raise their resources from within.
Yeah.
Okay, we are only hoping that people will see the hospital completed, and it will be good for all of us.
No, but almost now they are looking at 50 million euros to complete the project.
But where is the money? Yes, where is the money? So I was content because next week.
Yeah.
Next week, no more whether the content will come. No more misano about this.
No, but say over a year sad trend. Say a buying in Puntu. Then he touched on a year employment. That public and private sector no to me I employ 2.2 million accurately 2.2 million jobs.
Well, one thing about this government, they say they always want to give figures without pointing to the actuals. So His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Okojira Otufo Okumase. Or say, my way is here, my way is here, my way is here. Go Jackie Gojira or say, oh, yeah, 1,000 and so, yeah, 1,000 and so, yeah, 1,000 and so. Tell us, say, what's the work jobs are? Can you say ABCD company, you're funny per 50. So company B, you're funny per 40.
So you give us breakdown.
Good. You must give us a breakdown for us to tabulate and see whether it is true they've created this. That's a private company, company per 200. I buy a foul. And what incentive did you provide to the private sector for them?
Okay, so they can pick like the Exim Bank loan. That we have created an enabling environment for people to secure loans to set up industries. So yes, I buy an achievement. Nibidono.
The Exim Bank, woman and buy. Woman, was it brought under this government? And it's even in the buy. So how can you come and even claim say Exim Bank has done this and has done that? No. I mean, they must keep us break down. Look, you can just try 2,000 jobs. Where? Point A, they pass it. Point B, they pass it. Point B, they calculate that too. Then we can say yes. What you say is true. Obediah can say, 1D1F, 200 factories. Away. Ebi a casual, we were handle body, we were handle body, we were handle body. They say, yeah, go Ashante region. We mention specifics. KJTM market, Atosu market. They say, yes, you mention them. But what they want buy, obviously, no figures. No. Tell us. Pinpoint their locations. What do we make us say, if they say, watermelon factory, wale. Never, you can't have somebody see you. Signboard.
But it's on paper.
It's on paper say watermelon factory. We go to a video by Sambon Penisio. Was it more Keta port? We go one Sambon Nisio.
One quick comment here said, Tony Bones says, Bobie, you must know that the kitty is empty. The government is just playing with the minds of Ghanaians. That's all. Yes. I mean, they don't have anything. Patrick Mensah says, good afternoon, Bobie. All right. So thank you. Dr. Maria, we see our joining here in the studio. Mama Me, Akwaba.
Yeah, and yeah,
Boko there.
Yeah, Boko, sir. Sanda, Kufado, Sabia, the H1, I don't know, 1 year. And yeah, Boko cry.
But who follow parliamentary proceedings, no? Your thoughts?
Unfortunately, meant to me, I'm following, and I may be yana. Let me follow Menani via Menani Wufia and I do Iris Auntie.
Oh, sorry.
Namijana Home Hospital.
Sorry.
Sorry. Inti be ye do had an amity kakra.
Oh, picky some few
stuff. But amity, daddy.
Yeah, he's accountant, chartered accountant. Right. Yeah.
Bobie, Mamini can share tifo.
Yeah, Omojoso.
Mention His Excellency, the incoming president, John Dramani Mahama, on who can Ima Malodi, Mention Chairman General, Secretary Fifi Kwete, ne, ye fake neck rec sec, ne, NDC comrades, ni Ghana Funina, Michia will be Sammy. I'm say, your finance minister, I could read the budget.
Yeah.
Now, him and some woman in a bogus at the Papa be any. Minyantie be kakra metie free expenses am didru ha no na metie se ne dadi nso comment ene menua be masa wo hwe importation are ho se wo kɔ habo the whole day ubusa agency for wo habo the whole day omutimi yi containers 4 5
really
da omu be yi 5 go and check, just go and check and afre wo bi e wo phone so na busa ne se tema habo e de na ekoso Watimie yi nyoma 4 5 ene okwa container first no na trucks we move corner bana containers wodu ho kra hu se why ma ene containers no obedu ho bi ni ho ho ye empty ena da omotimie ye adwuma pa na omotimie clear containers 5
Temahabo.
I'm telling you what do me say me throw a challenge we am woni agent bi afre no to so sisi aneti asmo beka na no madam for be a car be free America. NDC time ana Ghana for su ana ba wo me ano katikati mahama na yire kat ano katikati mahama is incompetent na the NDC ana Ghana for say ahochira na bi madan Ghana for bi no no that time no na kwa temahabo na akono keke na that time car wo yi Toyota Corolla no wo yi no
yeah
that time no checking is kakwa am say about 12,000 and ne would you about 80,000 now out of the 80,000 the same car out of the 80,000 that would you know 8,000 cedis here COVID nene mi busake no for real
airport
oh mesi asma mi ken eye ene Monday asem opa free agents na busa obi a wotema habo sesi ase wo clear ni o ma wi COVID charges nka ho ana
ni na account mago 20
from na busa me patro ni ho from
20
okay COVID charges any e na ya papa expert o de ama ya wa
yeah
it is a COVID charges e ka ho no obi yi car ba ko na moji 80 million titiska eye ne 8,000 mi busa ken for ata na akufo ado ne na ban ne ba wo mia ne yire se sa 8,000 no omo de top PPP ana say COVID and ye da so ema school sanitizers ana ye ma nose masks ana ye ma eden omo de ye den and then crofo cranium because Ghana mechanic say literally bibia ye import it ye import bibi and Ghana ha mbeka say let's eat our own homegrown things near there no but in Ghana ha locally produced rice no kwa say na ya available a bit me sustain Ghana for ye kra bibia from ensuo to bibia na say dollar yi oba bedu be kra ensuo abedu obekra toilet paper abedu obekra semen abedu obekra aduane abedu cereal bibia abedu Ghana ha na ebeje COVID charges na obe share dollar rate na enye stable or say stabilize dollar
yes was stabilize
ada saying me person can me hu na busa say ti was stabilize dollar na edit mu stabilize si saying because enu na dollar ye 12.6 and now no per dollar ye 12.8 okoto
really
yes okoto it me busa almost say almost stabilize any si saying because there should be a specific figure so okay so stabilize bibi I wait me can say oh yeah okay what do you say
okay, so his explanation is that from February to date they are doing or say a friend say almost 0.6 with the dollar to the cedi 0.6 yeah so which means or any calculation no almost hold the dollar no from February to this time at 11-12 and you almost 14 15 16
oh no Nanka would have preferred so on you the word stabilize what I say because okay so stabilize BBA at least there should be some
and what now said you bet me any
What you say? And what Ghana for say one more to a bus.
They said you bet me a year.
They bet me a year. And also near stabilize. And Trona one more that say and Troni war almost system. They say almost didn't crowd. They don't even realize.
But Dr. Barry, the point is even with the word stabilization, no crano still no a hang on because so catch me Jadini a yam sisters free akofani free outside. Say idea that the best thing you can do for me is that I should carry $1
to 12 points. What you have said almost stabilize no they mean 12.5.
Exactly.
12.5 no and no pay a bit me 12.5. Enkodre you na 12.8.
And you catch us said you met me
what you say? I can't do and I will far will be dollar from 3.6. It do be a one more MPP for instance na year 4.
We agreed.
Let's agree. Say year 4.
Agree.
Now say a year 4 now be far. At the cost 17, at the best 16, at the back 15, at the bedu 12.8 and no pay. Now be catch us was stabilizing now.
Obia send him say a cut 12.9.
I'm telling you. What you say? Because I no pay. Now me say obekwa ready budget. Me so in same way na obekan wo mu. Enti before me ba hey, me checks. Now you 12.8 and now no pay. Yeah. And I dear bet no kwabeti me akwa 13.
Yes possible.
Enti the word stabilize no person what saying. And employment creation na wo mo ka ho asem. Eya me the pa say expert or studio ha. Eka said they should be specific. Because you can't just come to parliament and tell us that we've created 7,000 jobs. And I mean so as a Ghanaian citizen, not a spectator. I mean so met me at Nahaka say so I created 5,000 jobs. Say freedom of speech.
Yeah.
I didn't know Mobeka. I didn't know say in this sector, you have nipa 2,000. Company way, and our ministry way, and I say ha any nipa until you can go there and do your checks. Omo say Ghana for yen kwala omo. And omo say Ghana for nyina ejimi. Omo nsan kwa no omo nsam na biem. Na sane medi kan yen me I'm yet to see the budget. Na me read na me scrutinize said ye be ya me ba ne nsam na omo aka ne betime nya bi aka na emo mienu pay ya mate yi de. Na hu say ne budget na de papa bi anim. Because for them no talk is cheap. Sane akufo ado timi ko otumfo anim. Na no say tutu otumfo Nana asante maida wase me sorry me shame nana tibi ko jira na nanim anti mi amfa wonsa abatwa asante maiti mi to ma MPP nyina free tititi besi nem ekufo ado timi ko jina na nanim anti mi amfa ne sense se nana Mercy hospital ama asante mai nana maye ekwan ana se maye nsuo e de ama asante mai nana Mercy e block bi de ama asante mai nana maye chip compound ana se sene ba wumie kan se obetimi omoba 18 months within 18 months efie bia mu benya toilet no e ma nitimi kwa agbogloshi the vulnerable people of Onuani hometown wa agbogloshi kwa ka chom se mebra mo toilet ebesi nne 8 years no yaso wantimi amfa toilet anko akufo ado kogina wotumfo wantimi amfa nonsense ne bo anka se nana MPP aban yetisha ha nana yetumi ayewe ama yetumi ayewe ama His Excellency John Dramani Mahama timi kogina wotumfo anim adanu minya akwanya near the running mate kochia nana
yeah
me Kobi that time na me a deputy regional woman organizing timiti Wobi papa is original na so more than 20 minutes no chere ne o ma waye wa asante mem was nana me ye Kumawu water project nana ma ye kono water project eba hospital ma ye afari ma ye tepa Oba market was my KJT market, my Tafo market, my market way, eba kwan was my yaha, or Kasasa for 2 for was Nana main catchips compound. Ono dia a district assembly Juma, and no dia the Iowa Santimemu, I mean come wasem. Na me cap project a year government na a year. I didn't say me was Nana my or ya more than 20 minutes up upon Gusubo. That's just a fekeke. A kufado to me kojinaho, what the koyi concert. Nana Mafawi. I'm say no na Ghana for Bejina so ato.
And quick one on mention a dear bia me yam shemi kakra. Say from this time to the next 8 years. Omo de electric cars eba. Enyina omo tax free.
Concert massa. A concert. Electric cars no. Electric cars no. Okwa America. Electric cars no. Omo won stations ha. Udu ho na say electric car no. Fu be can say ma me use example Ghana fo nyina beti ase. It is a charger. Ene sim. Enti ye wo joint a okwa na ye wu a no wa branch. no de akosi obe 15 minutes na nya abotira na charge no na aye full ansa na watimi move sa cars no Ghana ha hefa na ye ko charge
no but me o kwa chiri kra the question
yes because I to say almost free SHS John Mahama started say okay free SHS no ye be ye already no cry ya shase na se ye betumi aye na ye free completely ye see e-blocks na ye fan crofo ye new students ni ngumu bebre no
yes
almost there be ye be ne
but me
say amokofa e-cars na ba na electric cars na
make a choice
na echi amu bedru amu ba be ye
o kwa chiri the point is
this government
you are dealing with a masses Ghana says here your poverty rate go and check statistics almost nipa be 70% and intimate middle income anybody do say go to a transport yards do say the benya scarcoton electric cars in the first place buying it and say no the aba abeye adwuma we are talking about emrantia omakosua driving omopa adwuma aye initially we catch there say more companies ababa be ye cars e okromu a
na majiji okada square mo
me pa e ifa
o busa ba omia
aha so what koye budget na percent crofo high wo mu a electric cars no gabi num na eto bedi atuo num na eto
America crampo and go for to na how they are busy.
Exactly.
Just say it's like they just talk without reasoning.
It's just talking.
They are just talking. And no na eya homete semono. Oforiata. We are here to make ko US and akwaji ayaresa. Mobile ben yimunyi regional hospital kramunti minye ba akokora yie and na say enye eyi JM UGMC hospital we see ya anka munyi na akramo wu. Mobile ben mo ntimi ahwe sa nyoma we nyina anye. Electric cars na mo kofa free for the abaha.
I don't get it
na he funny electric no cry was
ne to no kra no ne to no
this government
so always you are running an economy those who have it and time bia no who create e de ma wo mo the same thing no cover luxurious tax e de buy say sebita frache ebrika e ka luxurious ye na manfo amom ani ambrea ne nka wo mo so I am wrong, but my memory back to Mr. Afo with a near ma yet tier free keno for Riata with the analysis I'm what to from. Yes, we are yet to scrutinize other issues our raising our budget no more. But a queer for and a may and sakoyano any and near ma yet ton beverages and koda in Tafrewano, and it's looking like there is no hope.
Bobie, and Benefo say no crash, Uba may I say Ukoya. Unino.
Ovakani,
no good work too. So,
unto Avia
Bobie, my man catch us a free 2017. Ebedune.
Yeah.
Near MP before I hear near go for the government is in line with the Ejapadier document. So Ejapadier classified document now for a penny fee free OP. So what will follow no say Bible?
And one no me no.
And one implementing. The election of Baumia is in the Ejapadier document.
Yeah.
Nina will say they should sideline the Ansah 4. So they don't want the Asantis to be in charge of MPP anymore. So they must rather promote a notina. So they go for the call out. They'll be able to control them and then take the commanding heights of Ghana. Because do they know Ghana is their personal property. Is there in the Japanese document. One day, I have serialized that document into 6 parts. Some of the I can come one day and we take the parts one by one. Now we shall from page 1 to page 39 of that document. Everything is being implemented now. Generally, every month, you have 1 million Ghana cedis a month. And our general is 4. Yes.
1 million.
Generally, it's 4 every month. What would you from the? ne nyinaa wɔ agyapadeɛ document.
Fiago kreta.
Yes.
Fiago.
Ne nyinaa wɔ agyapadeɛ document no. So yɛma 1 million Ghana cedis every month. Nipa 4. Sɛ bɛyɛ a wɔn bɛsɛ Ghana for adwene. Sɛ bɛyɛ wɔn mu ne wɔn yɛ. But they claim say Ghana is their property for the penny. They are supposed to rule even over the Asantis. It's there because they are no slaves to anybody, and so they will not allow anybody to rule them. It is so far as they are concerned, Ocheman should rule Ghana and not Asante man. So they must get a Northerner to come and lead the MPP party so that they can achieve that Japanese document agenda, which they call will. Just a wheeler or woman to Ochiman for.
I think we will discuss a side issue later because an economic issue no about crowded. Yes. But my main browse na yemfa embonpo. I know say mummy ni yamo pentamako baby. Yako ready a budget. Meaning say the NDC is yet to make pronouncements on it. Yes, I think now also UTT Udia Emako. The question people are asking, what is the alternative?
Thank you. That's it. And Bobie Mr. Mamin Chemi Kunwai. Mamin Chemi Kualaji me patch of it. I don't know. My says, Bobie, me that's a power for that question. Can you imagine say Nra? Once I'm better now, me make a statement to be said. But me because they say when be bia obetime gina so aye campaign no I feel person use religious basis be no fanya ne campaign which to me is a recipe for disaster. Enti ye kasa na sa wutie se na me ka say ma me akwa onye muslimi papa na so ye muslimi papa anka some of ne yire dressing without veils ni ade no enya de a ehye kramosum ne mukina na em say obi capture no de ye news. And now one of the comments be me read here catch my attention na me say menya sa platform here on nipa corner so beto say me say with my position no mentimi anka bibia e be solve the crisis Ghana wo msisi and be can Samira addressing ho asem Samira addressing no is it going to solve Ghana's problem na nipa kwa we senka minim nka me kan sem ba ko na ache no e die pan as say Ghana for e pese yehu na yeti na ejina so to aba apart from 24-hour economy His Excellency John Dramani Mahama say obey implement. Developed country no. Eno na omode abedu omo countries abedru samri. Ye no bi de enya kwanya atena abrochire. Aye adwuma. Ekwa abrochire eba. Ye nim say the system net here. Even supermarket here 24-hour service supermarket okwa America ewo ho. Be Ghana ebo 8 ase ye pam ye nyina kwhye dem. Yena into we Ghana system na it's like a juma pan kasa no started between 6 to anumrebe 6:30 no be pon echo supermarkets no more na cha say by 8
6 na obo
what am I find say be omo ewo agbogrochi no money ade ne de omo courses
anyway
because of traffic and ade
because omo mtetema no obitimi drew office 11 a.m.
no see mu 7
oh yes
obi see mu 6
yes
tema 25
what say motorway no what say motorway na manipa esim free
we cry what they say
tema eba adwuma o free 7 no abedru 8 11
now upon 4 it's ne productive hours no from 11 no to 11 so a boy ya no upon 1 hour or co break for be 1 hour it wuti free mo na say ne service to the country for salary no is less than 5 hours near Tianika and na His Excellency John Dramani Mahama out of the experience awabenya no any akuma power was obe build the Ghana we all want no was say oba ya quickly oba implemented that 24-hour economy plan no which is very good. I say Ghana for say MPP for ya na me ya say o mama kada bia Canada Japan asem emi nya kwanya bia meka was say MPP for the sebu I quote Canada Japan say MPP for munum nyansa because munum nyansa anka quickly no send ya mo pese anka by hook or by crook no mu wia 2024 no anka sa 24-hour way nka mo be fa bi kra dey try within 1 year yake nka mo try say mo be implement bi nka Ghana for kra nya adwen sakra wo mo instead say mo ba kwatena se afa mo aba asua mu nyansa no mo te ho criticize say it's not possible na ba umi ade na obeye wo Ghana ha ye possible. Alternative no, His Excellency, Ghana for Mufenchemi. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama say, or alternatives, baby, or the baby build the economy no. Back home, carbon corruption. There be a Messi media baby, I met Nebia, Mekan Sicilia da pa wasem. Na Papa Bia Yadia Mama mention of so Emona Basso. Professor Jampo.
Yeah.
Professor Jampo.
He has been consistent with.
And then I meet you know, one of the journalists could be more fini pakudi. Meet you and who say yes, these are the kind of people are Ghana for you here. When it is good, it is good, and when it is bad, it is bad. He is one of the people criticizing NDC government in 2016. Na none of no host ni busane say comparing MPP ni NDC. Can why na say NDC is far better than MPP. Now, Nyabotre taking one by one. What's it look at the corruption rate under Akufo-Addo? NDC are buying. Obi bien no say o dreamy. Said that chinko nya $1 million ye ni day. Ye ni day. His Excellency John Mama Uyinedi. Even to dream, cry under His Excellency to dream corruption cry ye yinedi. Na Sicilia da pa oba besia abrewa wey etimi atena ni fie e sika over $8 million o keke cedis ni euros nyina boma egu ni fie o Akufo-Addo entimi kura nka se maame ebi kura na o de letter ne kura ba no ka Akufo-Addo under normal circumstances ka wo bu hu a wo ye panimu a wo pese wo fight corruption said your can 2016 na anka Akufo-Addo na sese wo sake maame no wentimi anya balls and sake maame no maame ne side letter resignation letter by Akufo-Addo see I know say you'll be vindicated. And the Akufo-Addo's government corruption e bin sida. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama onyakwanya be serve as vice president onyakwanya be ye president wanjare wo wiem da odwen Ghana fo ho ahochira ye wo mu nyina luxury life of Akufo-Addo ene na aban ene de Ghana fo adu baby because uhwe the cost of an expensive flights are wodinam hotels are wodida ewo Manhattan na etimi costed to the tune of $20,000 a night. Uhwe sa nyoma we nyina $20,000 ebetimi create one chip compound ebetimi asi school block ewo akra biase ebetimi amma boreholes be 3. His Excellency Ghana for etimi testing no omo e kan His Excellency ho asembo ni nyina enne oma regret obeti say Captain Smart 2016 enye wo na lead this campaign against His Excellency wada wo Dubai enye wo na e patew enti alternatives ni de menua Bobie Ansah se wabusame a me ka kire His Excellency John Dramani Mahama experience is the best teacher or wonioma bebre a wodi begu akwan mu. When it comes to infrastructure projects, why ye bebre Akufo-Addo mo ba yi omo ya no mo de Pokuase interchange ye wo mo ho Pokuase interchange. There are facts and figures say His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or passes ade wey the hu sika to ho Ansah no woko. It is a we sad ni film a Akufo-Addo ne na ban ya omo ba ye to beto omo ntimi hye dan kire any project bi a wo mo ye a obetimi akase Oma build the foundation of Ghana in terms of infrastructure, in terms of education. Almost free SHS. Me dear, me ma ekobi. Nenso e ka me boy no. A chain 2016.
So at least you have experience.
Me dear me swan and I would prefer say under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And that's same way me tena we see the wakai. Me say na me back Holy Child na ye 7.5 a year 750 Ghana. A whole term. No midterm Holy Child obako ho a opa ho na busa obia in 2016 na school fees for Holy Child boarding 750 Ghana cedis ene wo kwa almost free na wo hwe prospectus a de ama wa wo bebo nsem na wo hwe ye say then fees cleaning fees one fees okay kaboma ene kwom a every nkola na. Are we talking about quality education? We are talking about quantity education. I'm wondering the kind of message Akufo-Addo ede ba womia because me can say Baomia plus Obia obedi na chibia is equal to Ekufado Gabi Ochidako bedi etu.
But Bobie, was it necessary for us even to go to IMF? Was it necessary?
But catch say young question to buy us Sambarat for. Well, that is what he.
I'm sure. And your money can't say will be on me as an IMF.
Yes.
Na Sikai, we are free commercial bank as well.
They go. So when they try elections, we. Then for just Canada.
But 52 billion Ghana cedis is huge. I hope Okuja Tonu will take interest in this.
Let me just give the food bank Ghana phone.
Yeah, break when it down. I'm on the pot.
Good. Also in 2020, 5th October 2020.
Yeah.
And our Auditor General, Ocho letter comma GCB Bank. Ebisa mo say tax revenues na wabo jiji all over the country. O say
GCB the troll letter.
There be Auditor General.
Okay.
And the troll GCB Bank managing director say you be having a transit accounts. It just say tax revenues say jiji or Ghana no. For that time the troll letter come GCB say one tax revenues all over the country. And the essence was Munjiji Namunfanko Bank of Ghana and Consolidated Fund. Now, transit accounts, it has no signatories.
I see.
So nobody can draw money from any transit accounts.
Yes. So Ghana Commercial Bank created a transit account.
Yes. GRA4BA tax revenue transit accounts. GCB. For the various.
If you want this kind of
yes,
okay.
Now GCB to this kind of Bank of Ghana.
Okay.
Now we share Article 178, Article 176, 178. And 183 of the Constitution. It is only the Bank of Ghana that can mandate any institution to collect public funds on behalf of government. Kedufurata has no right to tell GCB to collect monies on behalf of government. But he wrote to GCB.
A copy of the letter.
We have every evidence.
Okay.
Wow. So what you say? And Osancho Koma, Auditor General say, transit accounts now, Wamojis can go reconcile. No more say, a free 2015 NDC time no. From July 2015, whether all the money there are intact.
I see.
When the Deputy Auditor General, Mr. George S. Winful, lead the team, and I want to reconciliation. Now, what was started is our audit. Now, Domelovo was the Auditor General.
Okay.
Before he was sacked. It is type of reconciliation. And 52, but go to specifically
52
billion 537 million 175,778.13. That's the exact figure.
Yeah.
Saskano echo what the auditors termed unknown account. Just the instance Saskano Ebeko Bank of Ghana no Scano for baby. And the auditor in the ABC Commercial Bank say Saskano Esenko Bank of Ghana no. Fine. We want to know.
Okay. So which means Okuja Tonum say Dabena the Beko.
Well, sir, by the parliamentary procedures, on the executive only and the mass speaker.
Okay.
Or the mass speaker, not speaker. So at the time, now which are my mobile accounts no BNTB.
Okay.
Now your IRS direct transit account. That's number one. And there was VAT indirect transit account. Number 2.
Na yini nyina na GR in the crate here.
GR accounts. Eye Mako 6.
And our GCB.
Yes, and our GCB. Mako 6. And you know, first account, you know, Zika Eira will be 17 billion.
Huh?
Second account, you know.
Pajo, use microphone here.
Yes. Second account, you know, 18 billion Eira. And a third account, you know, 107 million. Fourth account, you know, SEPS, GC net revenue, 10 billion. And Eira. It is okay in a bomb. 6 accounts in Yano. We have 52 billion 537 million 175,778.13.
Yeah, why the first cast? Why the users can have free accounts?
It is me say Speaker of Parliament or my because that money was supposed to go to Bank of Ghana Anchor. It's kind of fine, and that money got missing about 4 months to the election 2020.
Yeah,
it is kind of fine. It is a problem. GCB Bank must be able to tell us, because as a responsible bank, you cannot tell them, say, what transfers car alcohol. You can't do that.
All right.
Let me just answer. In order to cover their tracks, you know.
Yeah.
About you know. So Deputy Auditor General now Olidia, you know, you are transferring to Africa Minister of Finance.
Afo.
Yes, you are transferring to as Director George S. Winfo.
Yes.
And him all these service staff ring a reconciliation. You know, you are transferring woman, you know, and they got different departments. It is because of that gap they have created. You know, they went and secretly recruited 150 people without going through the necessary process. And a lawyer Batik Bebu,
yeah,
or they call right to information, and what charge all this service for, all this service to come and pay a penalty of 30,000 Ghana cedis.
30,000.
Yes, Batik Bebu won that case.
Anyway, I think the other stuff. So, but this is very dangerous. Minim Sebenya copy of this document. Okay. When the other man, no. When you sue one, the other man, no. Accounts information.
Yes, attach the now.
Okay. Sorry.
Member.
Ghana.
Okay. Me what I say. All right. So, Mama, you back with your second round, Abba. Me break kitu be emra sisia. All right, so that's a live in Accra 100.5 Citizen Show. And disabled for koye oye kire 2 years mufa omajuma, you are not paying them. And Kwame, I don't know whether you have some videos on that. So quick one. Among for police force say disabled for na ye unlawful gathering. Kwa chiri wo mo abrubi. Ujure ho a ontiase disabled fire unlawful gathering. And let's watch this video quick. And me will say Akugan was there. Yeah, I'm going to Akugan, all right. Good. Okay, so the National Communication Officer for NDC, Akugan, was there. I think he did well. Or TN1 or Rashiko. Any
reassignment, any salaries are also about a copy tama. The Benya. Ejuma na so very easy. Emra anopa the select executive say ba be hu yen no activity on that issue, because moreover yen nanya several dialogue abolishment any reassignment, any salaries are also about a copy tama the Benya Ejuma na so very easy. Emra anopa the select executive say about the who then no activity on that issue, because moreover nanya several dialogue abolishment any reassignment, any salaries are also about a copy tama the Benya Ejuma na so very easy. Emra Anopa, the selectee executive.
But your life. But your life. But your life.
Abolishment, any reassignment, any salaries are also about to a copy tama. Lebenya, a Juma, not some very institute. Emra Anopa, the selectee executive, say Babahu, then you know, activity on that issue. Because moreover, then several dialogue, abolishment, any reassignment, any salaries are also about to a copy tama. Lebenya, a Juma,
Evelyn Gadri.
Evelyn.
Pacho.
Okay, so Odia, Pacho, your friend say.
Pacho, from Emmanuel Amagbaji.
Emmanuel
Amagbaji.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. So, brother, also, what do you say?
Pacho, from Timothy Ahinsan.
Timothy Ahinsan. Okay, Timothy Ahinsan. So on the mama, your children and person me normal. Edili then Miviana, my baho. But, madam,
Papa.
what happened? And then you see, catch it.
Me da se. Yen guitar boni. Eye Endra Anopa. Emre etwemu no minister no. Yen ni won kita ho since atonu o close tonu.
Na mo ye to booth
ejuma. Ye ejuma ho.
Okay.
Pobi mine to.
Okay.
Okay. Enti no ye to anamon sa anti dakro na ye to anamon ye call eno po yan troleta ankoma police.
Na mo ye ejuma ewo to
Pobi mine to boot.
Eno mbegu no.
Eno mbegu no.
Omo antua moka.
Pacho debi.
Okay.
Omo anka hwen so ankyere. Obegu no kra wan alete yen say ye begu tone ye wadwuma mu ha no was won close tone down.
Okay.
No bia nkofie. Enti no yes anso ka chen say wo close tone down no ombetu ye nkofie na obetu ya yenka until say obetu ya yenka na won reassign yen na until say tone no ebe ye den ebe sia ba back. Enti no ye ndie kofie en na ye start to ho anamo. Enti anamontu ni mu ana yeshia minister nupo ya choleta demonstration ya demonstration ya choleta kuma police ya ma yako enti da kro ye kodu ho no yeshia wo friend minister no bai nto bai no na person with disability ye do so pa esin ebusu no because ye hu ne be ya brabo nto bai no so nani age pa say ye di obua ye den ama no na wo friend wa ba nto be shia no ka chen so oni problem enti no sane ya bedu nanim no tembia wo bie dan na mayen tembia ye hia no bia no ye betumi aba ne ho bibi kire ya adwen a ye betumi ene abedi hu nkita ho
yeah
enti no yesu ye fine enti be 1 year ne so da bi ye relax ya ebe how ye because nyama nkoye mayen ya hwe ye person with disability ye nyine be san asase we so because ahotire mankrofo edi wo hu ewu
really
I'm telling you recently year one ka secondary school for back eka ketekete because na pressure na wo me so na suma me eka ketekete pressure na so na wo frɛ me nti ye be fie ye be den me nya sika mpoti lorry fare from Kwawu to Accra me nya sika po from us one fan na kan mu e fa because ya ebusia sa ebusia fa ya ufro bi kra na wonim say sika no betere oh yama koye den no be ka che no ni hwe be ka nti endra na ye take decision say fine minister no say time be betumi abade and endra no which is executive ye be kona ye na kodi nkutan say akosi sen because promise no ma ye no still ye nti ho hwe enti endra ye kona was onim okokokos meeting enti ye te was ye atwa minister no enti ye te wa na edu anwumre na PR no be ka chen say adiasa na minister no so no omba enti no be ye enko na da foforo no ye de yembra ene ye se TNT 70 no ende ye betwe wa bonten because ye ntumi nko ensan ye den ensan babium ene o se ye ntumi nda compound no en sa yem pia bonten but
that is a road ministry
me na me ka kire o en ye pia bonten gate na no gata na no ho no pavement no e ho no na ye dai ye da ya socket ye da ho no into me da hobi pa
who use wheelchair
pacho you
who free eda from
me seriously ye da ho pa ye da ho no e ma ade chen enti no even though sorry to say ade chen mpo na yeso obi ye ade chen o se ye hu yi enti no ade ya che dia say and the ade inside because ye into me right inside enti ye colleague back no so bibi ne ye free and ya enti no won bie no security oba na ho no ka che mum obi amani right inside enti che say ye hu ne ye yankasa ena ofa moto in and out enti no okọ toilet in and out 20 Ghana was 105 cedis enti which means okọ toilet 25 cedis 25 cedis so just imagine you give up yet it was an ya ebo be 10 yes no ewie na no ye din papa no so wo so be wo be breed budget but obeba ho no man sana budget better enti ewie no ehye ya dan tuntum na ewie ahye yare no be yare enti na wo maye ne enkotena abontimpo nya reception ne entwen no ya fa de anko what wo mbie enti God been so good yakopon so man bofo and na car bi ba no right inside and yes and e be dika neti boko na yakot me say me rem one security for no kan kwa no omu ka get me gba meti omu ka get me enu mia me wo honom because me nuanom so dimachi no ka get bo meti me ka se meti nyina pai me kan dada adenti na wo say ba ne sa nti yenye nipa ministries yense mfata ministries honom na won ka bi nkyere yen say yense mfata ministries wa won ka bi nkyere yen yankodi bone yenkum nipa ye yen bo okro no ye yenye hwe denti na wo say ba ne sa na person with disability e wo Ghana krom ha na wo se wo fa ya yenyi sa na wo fa ya kokum yen just imagine ni yakotena wo din so a yanya hwe ni yeti ho ye bo modin run yeti ho within 10-15 minutes ngwa fa police o won fa bench warrant o se what sa warrant yi ka no obesi sa yeti yen get inside yes boni ben ya ye yanya hwe ye was the way police ni jojo ye wo ho no o pepia yen besi ni nra ka ni na se boni ben ya ye wo hanom na wo si yen besi ni enko there be of force in yen nra ka no ye rem ye du asa no arrest ye
o wheelchair no ye there do nra ka no
ye rem wo fodu no de to ka ni no pia ye she ka ni no pia ye she ka ni mu nti sa na wo se ba no ni nti yen ko fie na yen ko di den yen hu den ewo wiase
omo farm no omo de mo ko
Central Police Station
semo aye den
ye ko du ho no mu no wo fresh ye hwe security fo
mo
yen yo ye hwe security yen ye hwe security fo na God been so good na media bi wa around some media station me omo ye fufu ni bi but omo ni ye interview na ye ragate ni na incidents ni say ntom capture bibia but e be make sure say ye be nya sa video natural omo the way omo ye basa
police wan say mo abo
security for ya bu security
ya wo ti wheelchair no wo be hemfa na be fa ko bu security
me na kwa me sam me use me sam me edi pia me wheelchair
information they give them
me sam me na me dey pia me wheelchair nti me dey na mato me sam me dey bo security me ye den se de we are sat tena kwa nya nika seriously ya wo wo pa no ye di se wade ye mo boy we are hwenhwe mo sebio mo ye adwuma mpo amugina mo na to krampo mo hu so na yen enede chese me hie bida me hu bida hie bida me hie bida o chese we are sat tena ne enye ni kan maye adentina wo se banisa obata yo yekita mufra ye mufra nyina dia depending on us say be hwe that no also we be de omo be hwe ye na so twekwa e wade ye fa so say ya slaves so ya slaves adan na wo se banisa kakra e be dinti ya adwuma ya ye moja ye kopri ye moja ni kopye sika na wo ye fa sa kwan we so ye ja ya se manyankopon disability is not inability. Disability never to me to be at any time. We were like them. And ne in Abanisa. You make up. Just say another abomenu. Another me who ya mean yo. Me who ya mean camp. You go to Fenya meda because I say where they be 2 meter. Me who ya me ye. Yes, papa mo akwata. Yes, no.
Indeed, why na beba mobile?
Yen ya wo hona eja yen leaders ni ba ko. Mr. Aso na NDC4 mpenifu no wo be beli yen endi anka ya aka ho. Me di tane yetete ho no me ka che o se we won fa me dan ma me na me nkoda keke. Because say na yete ho no me hu me say won police won fa me dan ma kire me wa be kire me a kire me dan na me nkoda. E ho na me da Bible say ne nam no so ahinti dua no beba no ondue.
Anyway, so music no for how long ni? Use microphone ni.
Actually, let's see, 2 years now. 2 years ni.
2 years ni.
Yeah, please. 2 years ni.
What's it for?
Actually, miti kaswa.
And you, where there? What do you do for the day?
The help of people. The help of people. Boss, and easy. Sometimes, offer, then the panel himself because of obesity. People call no offer. 2 years now. We me. My renting dying every year, meteor. Just imagine. Even this situation, who pay you my so who qualify say we mature application be brave. And one will be a friend you possess Ima bra never interview. Boss, it's not easy. It's not easy. 2 years. 2 years. Yeah, it's not easy at all. We have family. Your family, just imagine. Uncle for more, a 9 minutes support. And yet easy more. How much? Me and me were a 9 back up. So we are pleading. We need help. We need help. We need help. A short of words.
So almost 2 years can, is that the point?
Yeah. Yeah.
They won't pay.
They won't pay. Even agreement almost can say we every month on BTI and also up to now 2 years now. 2 years now. Muna woka say mobile pay a juma my. Even on BTI every month till re-summit. Up to now. Up to now. Up to now. Boss, just imagine this situation. Situation I woman easy. Situation I woman easy at
2 years no musica be say no.
Yeah, it's 16,800.
To say you have 16,800 with government?
Yes, please. 16,800. every month is 700. So 700 times 24. That is 2 years.
Your friends say, microphone, my Minya,
Sir.
Mobile na musaka musika na mobeje HD because now Omasha says someday, and I know definitely they will talk to Dampare anytime I'm Bekobiano omba bumo. So obviously mo confess can way I mobeje HD amom
But yeah, enjoy trade. Because I'm not promising and say, I'm not the man. I call her in Nakasa on my uncle 4-3 say, we be a name from the from my moon fat. A from my moon fat. And then dry a buy almost you knew her. Near say a bed train. A bed train, yeah, you win a police station. And see, I'm watching and boss say, a china, a move out from court. And see, a train a china, maybe if you keep coast, me court.
Who free Cape Coast?
Aye,
Eva,
Abra, but Morina Mijma.
2 free on a ban ra.
But I, oh, Yenjare, Yenjare. And rather better tuntumu.
Hey.
But Sasson me who be that. Says a nipa but on our no say a chino. Sir, we could be done as a wire day. An abonano promising and say, I am bra.
But the information so chamo sabekeskano why na mamusa information.
Some information and pay for mobile hono.
Why penny for be free?
Any swim paying for no. No mobile no.
Now, and a police for us to say.
But for almost say, in fact, right channel and call Minister Ho into Yambra police station now, almost a right channel. Your call, I will say, hey, young choice statement. Yes, young choice statement because you are there. Someone can say young choice statement beyond for young gum. Name pay phone by on bakana on be into your church or ya ko ina din mo ya ko police station wa ina din search na report into your channel report I be share the be free report to mo aba na hu further we are able to me alpha so na sas can the angel because Ansah din say 1 year ni my wife or da baby me da baby nkwala so da baby say go school bara ko SS3 ba ko JSS3 ba ko class 2 ombu simplemento ye my friend of me chi ba mienu me friend position fa because me friend na him say oh bra no bajiska wa bre crayon san adwuma so man iska say mfenhye man ka sa se mi omba e crayon san adwuma ono promise say o me iska ana say o me adwuma foforo say iska na edwuma foforo na mba ma heska e betwi da gbe yensa na edwuma na etumi aye bi na yensa kwa ya no etumi hwe ebusu afo e ezi se me fie wure etumi wetumi me ye bebi nda nkoda ha se a kira okoda ha se a kira ise me me se ne ma ja o mu ofie
nti ene mu bedan
bebi a benya de bia beda nda ya don tuntum me amfa me se me dan tuntum bio asen ayam ya pa ayam ya sa mo kwata me mpa ne chew me se metina me mpa mo kwata chew da was woni na do no promise and say dan to abama no about 50% of the two works in the mama I don't know mo go no mo cha ka afse mo cha ka me san pa cha say na famiska mami o ba skana na do ana amakwata skana ya mo dia me tax me tax na ma agye no so fam kakra ma me no so fam bibia we say we skeni ho skeni ho mu tanta ho mu omu ntwa ho mu ka da ben parliament omu aka say ye ntwa akanti ye nkwa parliament omu jiska ka say no ye nse hwe na de fia ya mo de ma me say mo say skeni ho skeni ho ben
into a chat time ben ambesi akọ
echna ebe che mpenufo no ye nkwan abefa so a be won time ebe call me ntumi nko kepkesin de
all right so also mo adia mo yone dey
nana me chia etiefo
yeah it's okay
yeah me chia etiefo my use akwenya we achia His Excellency the incoming president.
Yeah, also yanko nim na time.
Assembly de mobo. Ahmachin we na meti se yabechi yen microphone. Quickly na medium recana mebra penyini akugan. You for communication officer.
Yeah.
Ono so ebe join ye na yekoho. Yeko bisa no mo say unlawful gathering.
Okay.
Our Ministry of Road and Highways. Entina omachi.
But ochina omo mbeko mono omo
yeah ochina no omo say ochina no yemfa omo 5 mra nepa 5
okay
mra ho na
bear time
anopa na
okay
ye discuss ni enhwe de ebeko ye be
yo no yemfa yenhwe sesi omo na yemu na hia ene omo a sesi mu madam free van by okay you can't go there and come back so which means you stay in town.
Commander anyway. Nyom nkwani o ebinum foforo wo almost I go back to close to the ministry omo ye 15 no 16
and almost yakọ
say baby omo ni baby a omoda so omo ni baby a
okay so
yeah the no pay kra yekoto omo kra na ahomache no em say some journalists be na ye some tea bi ni bread mom Ansah na yekoto omo police station a yekope aduane bi bra omo Ansah na ye grant omo bail.
All right so yan say e between organize aduane abra omo. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, but Bobie commander,
yes sir,
mobo say Ghana will be treating persons with disability in this way and the Ghana no enye you because me can dey bia say e kuro a emu ema emu nkwara emu persons with disabilities akro na nkoso.
And so what happens tomorrow? Yeah, that must be brave.
Yeah, that's it.
A very sad situation, but a day now betting I found. We are hoping so much now. Omodi Sikano Ebema Omo. Let's do a quick one. Oko police station Obi. Just some few minutes account.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kwabena me kodi djuma bi na me nam kwan so na me tese aposifo ache yenuanom persons with disability for no.
Just have to look for it.
Until quickly no many omo nkitahudie very long standing nkitahudia many omo die until no omo frame me sa no na I needed to attend to them because sebio account entiana account na sebi nyankopon wa mon satia nyina pe nti se koba se sinto bi obi ehuna yedna koye adwuma na Bible so adwuma yeni akatwa fata no na akam na eno so so okwa twan dua na we nya na ni pieto so koka wanzam hodia na asem a aye asotro mienu a amani hane enti mebo anan ma ye ko in fact me ni menua ni na ye koto akugan wo na wa start process na ebe boama police for etimiama omube but there etene say Abraham say enye omu intention is na nkomo ko demonstration say omo no ebubuafo wo ekuo nti akwai to say a coalition
yeah
ebubu afọ de nifrafo de asosifo de obi wo wa ne nsa na ehwan ansafo de nti no akwai se obi a leadership no they decided to merge and then go in one na omokoye no na omankoto minister ebi mso fi achichi na bae
yeah ebi fi Cape Coast
omunya ekwan sika bi amfa kanko se wo so omoda ho ma de achi ti utie di account na e ma ne ko ba sa na na se akoya asefisem say according to Intel mimi nya no na se wa wo ofa your classmate and in the school kwesi ada
abakwata
I on the kofre a police force omonkochi omo but kwara so e call hono na the police had already knowing say omo persons with disability no say order ne buy no na omo hu kofokro what you say say am akwata no koye say yenkochi omo nim kofokro ti omo koye no so na say boys no so na omo kochi omo no they didn't do what they had to do. In fact, some were mishandled and conference MP. Ntina ebinum kra no na eduro na omo eso omo honam ye omo ya ne ne omo but all in all no yekoshia regional commander in the person of COP Garibano. In fact, the swiftness in the action not to get because now acquire say many people who say kakra, you know, he was able to put it right.
Anyway,
but the man say mobile nipa say bi no say bi we when krana yesuma
there be na so onu akufado no an we disabled.
Yeah, but he doesn't see them as
onu we disabled midget
his brothers and
na wo nuanom wo de wo makoye adwuma wo wanye president anka ateto obutumu ya konya tintintin bi ne de wotena so no agigiska ne atua oka no akọ na se unuanom akoye adwuma 2 years ni one wagu ade na without any legal backing.
Now can Akufo dey disabled no am akwata we hwan. Is he not also? He is.
The Ochubro for Kodenchino.
You have to run, chase.
Oh, anyway. All right. Thank you, listener. Thank you. Let's hope tonight will be a better day for us. So, still on the economy and live in the studio, me said, Mr. Remo, me honorable, me honorable, no free. Amen. Debbie, but say, PC.
Honorable.
Debbie, we honorable straight.
No, honorable.
But
honorable.
Get to South, right?
North.
Get to North.
Yes.
I mean, we and this will be a winning MPP Bantama. We are MP straight. Yeah. You wait. Oh, wait, will be
this time around, and your ma and Connie said, "Dear Bantama, what kind of Bantama, this time, your candidate to Ohono, or Betty City, no, in this MPP candidate to Ohono, and say, Wobefan said, "Dear, what can Ansah? Honorable Edemabana, or Berwini on merit. Why, ye Juma, Wogusu ye Juma, Shani di Bianin fie, Abrantia Kitikitio, and so a Juma, why ye no war, region to their constituency, no, and no on merity Akunyano.
But
what you say? On merity,
but Agbana, we patapachin will be a
it will we need based on merit. What am I here to
or your patapachin politician be a it will not be sure. Oh, no more than Agbana, why you're quite advanced. Wouldn't you? Demonstration. Now demonstration no wa ma forefront o boni e koso akire wo nyina wono a me ne ketiki bokwa akire wo bia da ya dem agbada na ya sa
ablejaisa o tie to
ko
okay say
we are innocent
man okay time na e film no
e film
o say killer bia no ɔyɛ ade a
ɔkasa asenkwa
ɛna jack ne nso so bo sɛ asɛ ɔbɛyɛ ɔnyɛ asɛ ɔbɛyɛ bɛyɛ de akila bɛwu laahye o ɔno no ɔyɛ jack
mepie bɛyɛ na mbɛfrɛ ma adamfo baako nam sɛ ɛde magba na yɛ bad papa anyway so honorable yɛbɔ akɔ aba mepatɔ with ɛyɛ floods issues no where are what to say
yo Bobie mami chia o ne me senior
yes na mama Charles na me man akɔ aba say Dr. Mary Usidi mama na akɔ aba Charles akɔ aba okay all right okay so let me come back
okay it's well nyamiadum flood issue no buy no na a very difficult situation but nyamiadum the NDC MPs any NDC as a party any good-hearted Ghanaians they stood up and fought for our people. At least they came in with donations this annual mano. My constituency Ketu North now you're directly affected by the flood.
Okay.
But your neighbors Ketu South. Any Keta. So we share boundary with Keta, Ketu South, Akachi South, and Akachi North. So apart from Akachi South near Akachi North, no, yeah, 2 other neighbors normally are affected. Keta constituency any Ketu South.
Okay.
Then Oko Stroka Crafter Sogakope. I mean from Sogakope all the way to North Town. But because they say BBA ebe affected with neighbor biano. Affected with yenyina were involved in trying to ensure say our people there get some little support or relief. Say left to the government alone. Bobie left to the government alone and we would have been reporting hundreds of deaths from the flood affected areas. Now mami use it our opportunity way. Now me congratulated the youth of the affected communities. Mepe DNU for example, SRT a youth in a climbing electricity pole transformer no to disconnect the electricity.
Really?
If not, no. Because almost start here in the evening. This is another aspect of the idea now. People are not saying the story. Youth in a climbing electricity pole no, to disconnect light. And yes, sir, by that evening, because if you the entire community was submerged. It is an electricity a lot of people would have died. It's me salute the youth of Mepe. I know this for a fact because me call I met some of them who narrate how they climbed the transformer to disconnect electricity from that area. And yes, sir, ABR electrocution would have led to several deaths. But Nyamia Dum say as we speak, directly no soul has been reported to have died directly.
Yeah.
But people can die out of depression. Any how are they now affecting the diseases? Because are they near contagious? I because so the community no so at least 4 times. Now use it boat some of the houses no completely. You can only see it's a roofing sheet. And but the entire building is submerged. It's now you use
the church.
Now church of Pentecost. Oh yeah, past all those places.
Yes, you're correct.
Right opposite Church of Pentecost. If you be I think the color is as I say your wine and not pink. That is NDC constituency chairman. Nifie
Begandi.
Me Nicholas. I went to Saitunti. Nti if you know that NDC constituency chairman for Northton Nifie completely submerged. Also no Nifie nti ne seka ne nyoma because onunkwa na otifie but he was not home at the time at the end started here. But we thank God say at least the NDC our MPs now more and the local leaders the chiefs no bebrena they've contributed to ensuring say Nkofona relief kakra but as for our buying response there
one man's donation Ibrahim Muhammad donation look a child
they say a flood way they be a cast about we are useless about we see a useless but flood way a science pose the level of uselessness meaning whether because na him say we are useless but uselessness no yeah, because only and video be or I'm sure say we home media to me social media.
So
DC now was South on.
Yeah.
This CEO obi a representing President Akufo-Addo.
Yeah.
Or say relief items now by receiving you know and almost receiving at the district level. Then now go district assembly. And then I'll say they don't have transportation to take the items to the people. It is Ankasa depending on. I'm telling you, I have the video here. This CEO say we need transportation fuel. Some better fuel I go pick up and not track. Now move for relief items no command microphone no need sasika because of that the items are still lying with them at the district assembly.
Most of them will be stolen.
Useless aban we say. It is Ankaya depending on this is. Any aban say na provide relief items people would have died out of hunger. But Nyamiadum President Mahama sa papa no wherever he is be our God will continue to bless him. At the end of the year he was the first national leader. He was the first politician of national crowds to visit them. Okoye 13th April. 13th October.
Yeah.
Okoye 13th October. 13th October na President Mahama Idru. At the end of the year 10th, 11th, 12th. That was when at the end of peak. He was the first leader to go there with his donation. Okoye na media started hype and almost describe the situation before people started going there. After several weeks, useless leaders now you want to say I can vote on baho. That is the level of uselessness. Obviously, this government is as useless as the other alphabets when you are spelling Q. Useless as the alphabet who spell it Q as soon as say Q, they how to spell it. You will not hear of the useless. And there is useless as if they don't even exist. Aban full way. Now 2024. The ballot paper I will be interested in seeing see that South Tongue, North Tongue, any the affected areas, the front place areas they will want to go and cast their vote for a useless party, a useless government, a criminal enterprise like the MPP. But your friend is flat issue now. I speak about it with a lot of pain because our people were affected, and the most annoying one is they still continue to lie. Omunka no cry about the Adena SCN. They be a Omuko Parliament kano na po echo chantro say your friend is saying Omu consult MPs no. How? What here honorable black any response he was so angry because he provide evidence say Mushia MPs and the leaders of the communities Ekacho mu say yebe AS village nti ade no be affect mu and amu relocate. Nothing like that went on. I didn't see here as we speak today. Aba enfa plan bia won be relocating crofonu. It is any individuals, MPs, any President Mahama, Ibrahim Mahama mu, any other individuals, donations are supporting crofonu kakra.
Yeah.
Over 32,000 people. This government simply doesn't care. As I say, sea of water region. When you need China, you have better. Eta metama bumo nebe adako na MPP talk bemela yo. Bobie nanya pegbeto nanya pegbeto nye vao enya nglo vijiji enya muganu tomato ye metama bumo ame ofu omi ala na ba adako no bemela yo o mia dum echi dem ya to mia no mia dadao mia fofo ame chicho de vio sukuo na kamaji mo na gabe adako na bemela yo. Bemelayo, let's my callers no much show the meaning of Bemelayo. Bobie issue 2024 we will show the MPP government.
Let's enter into the budget straight from Kenoforiata Parliament. Minim say time you know, remember our picky areas out here. Then subsequently during the week you benya time you are breaking it down. So your view on the budget?
Bobie and then I'm your Parliament. Na Kenoforiata san started or buy with the white your friend is deceptive as usual or buy to say angel now any to say or start to say okoti we bia and I me free hoye. That is one point. And then I make a point no because bia the nama kuma hame to me person be a metina public gallery or na I will get so angry. Me make it comment then because when you parliamentary you can't even contest the election. Contempt of parliament. Until before we MP now pay contempt it me free up. Number two I say Bobie who share budget a Kenoforiata present here now. It shows this government is not ready to solve the problems that we are facing. Because budget we for any innovative plan and our solution to any of the problems the same old format. Saying I budget here for this agenda 111 NAPCO say the same useless budget by this useless government. Bobie, I'm yet to see anything innovative in this government. Me and parliament no me making note now me making no. I was expecting Kenoforiata any Nana Ado Danko Akufo-Addo ni Dr. Baumia say omo yenkrofo they care about the good people of Ghana. There are a couple of announcements and kaise omo ye but nyina they didn't make any of them. Ebini number 1. I was expecting say ombe scrappy a number of levies, any taxes are your current laws mu how introduce here. COVID levy. Any sir VAT now increase here with the last budget no. We're expecting say they should have reduced it back to the percentage which was the 12.5. Again, I was expecting them to take e-levy out because Omukache say e-levy the panacea solution to all of Ghana's economic problems. And then we start here after a year, some few months, no, announcement say the e-levy is not bringing in the expected returns. Say no, so then no expected returns, but now say because of e-levy, we'll see when you have e-levy, you will not go to IMF. But then who IMF are? That's why you are begging them, even missing the deadlines. How would IMF Sekano? The best thing you could have done, the most reasonable thing, the sincerest thing to do as a leader, or be all sensitive or responsible, no, is to scrap out the e-levy. Because we see no, it is not giving you the returns you wanted, so you have gone to IMF. Because we presented the e-levy no, as an alternative to IMF. So now this year all the two options are at play. Now any useless, wicked, insensitive government here. Now senseless.
Then you started taking the e-levy. Then quick now call IMF. So the two things are no.
We say the economy was challenged, and I say more corruption, any stealing now more no overspending, reckless expenditure now more and no na responsible for economy now collapse. We see a revenue into open e-levy. You see call IMF. IMF the IMF ama small boys be dictate ama any all those things. Omu kani now kroma. They spent taxpayers' money over 50 million Ghana cedis and holding town hall meetings in the name of promoting and answer omu orientation on e-levy. Over 50 million. And yes sir. Yeah. After that no, we see e-levy now IMF bio. The e-levy now. You still went back to IMF. E-levy is still there affecting us. IMF and also the annual conditions are affecting Yaba. So where we are today, we are suffering from both ends of the sword now. Kita. It is a sensible government. By this time, they would have announced yes, scrapping e-levy because the entire e-levy was to stop us from going to IMF. They say your IMF. They have not done that. They have not announced any major plan for job creation. NAPCO for no. President Akufo-Addo
public and private sector no. The public and private sector created 2.something million jobs.
Bobie check 2023 budget. And 2023 budget. Say there is a freeze on employment in the 2023 budget. Public sector, ministry bank, office bank, and recruitment. But what they have done in the case of baby to say GES no, some of the schools teachers no be call retirement. It's a replacement. Uti ase. Ena teachers no so bebre ajakpa. Bebre tukwa ko abroche.
Otilo.
Ukai say in the history of this country and see that say in one single academic year over 4,000 teachers resign here. Bebre Tracy they are on their way bimu try using the desert to travel outside this country because Abayan Beye so useless they don't find any hope in this country. Into omo anye 2.2 million employment sector be na omo employment omo provide breakdown. Now sir you just come to parliament
and to be what government me otimi je throw figures around that onya any repercussion.
Obi me we dey me blame me here the general public any to the media. Yeah, and Wednesday.
Yeah.
Omo present budget.
Yeah.
By Friday, omo ko arrange some paid interview for Kenoforiata or some of their finance experts and now the so-called finance experts. Ebia Ochinaka, one of the TV stations will host them. These are the critical questions, sir. And can say Ochina
omo baye Poladumoche. Na Friday omo Kwame Sefakan.
Christmas tree no.
Kukuruku kukuruku na Monday ya na city aso mo hye kakra to mbeye city ni joy ko omo bo game ti omo se yenye mom no bi ahu na Tuesday omo ya adom na fe do omo be ya sempa Wednesday wi.
Yeah, okay. All these questions now will be some nobody, none of the journalists will ask.
Case that
omo ko bisa leading questions are ebe make aban looking good. Say omo ye bold about statements omo present here, they should avail themselves for your show. Omo peka wo de yenu phone interview be omo sure say omo baha they should do a phone interview. They will not be able to answer because omo nim say nyoma na omo throw budget no mo no. These things are not, they are hopeless. They are hopeless. There is no solution. Hopelessness. And then me shine at the time I all presenting budget and me free gallery no. Me shine MPP but me bonidi. Or catch me don't know why we even sit down there for the same old stuff to be said. MPP before God the man.
No.
Or catch me, he told me.
You can't be wrong because we had about 75 MPs and no more person oko.
Me say he was out.
So
you see, I didn't know this budget has no hope. That job creation now Mokano is not true. No 2.2 million jobs have been created. Minuka said they are still owing NAPCO trainees. Minuka said they lied, say they have started some affordable housing for even it's a national service personnel, any young people, young graduates. You apply for some projects. I'm waiting for that program. Then and then you start
is different.
You start is yet to start after 3 years of repeating it in the budget.
Yeah.
You start is yet to start.
Yeah.
But bibi almost say the providing rent, almost say rental something. So our rental policy now almost copy rent policy be our website be so kai. Launch here something like that. It didn't even.
Na no nim de omaye. Akufo-Addo no madamfo. E no mo de project na ma no. Enti se wo pe rent loan na okokoje a na ono no obetua aguna accounts mu but aban no incentives bi a omo de ma no.
Oh, omo ye ne to say the way omo sell omo debts. I told you this before. Said they are selling debts. They are
buying. If in the capital no running business in the system while he's earning incentives from the government.
From the government.
Yeah.
And they brand this thing say how many people are benefited.
That's what they are
but
doing.
Your figures now omo quote here say people are benefited. They say Bobie, budget in there. This budget has not inspired hope. The only way, by showing the seriousness is for us to show them the exit. Rental assistance scheme. Omuko GNU na some your friend is a policy bia. Obi any private ADBO website. They copy the same thing, including examples now. Nipanu Maya on the website. They copy.
It reminds me of Nkolebi Omochu exam. Na Omoju Apo. Now, like I say, after writing this, turn to the next page. No matter after writing this, turn to the next page.
Meanwhile, if you are no turn to the next page. That's all this government is doing. So, Bobie, budget way there. Tagbo kuku budget. Budget here. Tagbo kuku budget ya ewu poison kan mi ga no oga wu mi mo kakede our people have to wake up to the realization say Akufo-Addo who per definition of wickedness obi a oye wicked obi a oye so wicked say usu na oye no more usu kra na me ye no more Akufo-Addo. That is the kind of leader he is.
But the 24/7 economy policy now more because then me tie one ko social media and people are trying to compare that policy with the budget reading and that which one gives much hope.
24-hour economy. Bobie 24-hour economy na ma hope.
Creative jobs.
Na budget omo kan as I speak to you Bobie no one him say companies bebre FOD apa omo free Ghana. A lot. Because the economy is so bad. 24-hour economy no. President Mahama say yen have a deliberate policy yen running 3 shifts. 3 shifts. And then even radio stations many of them at midnight either they close completely or they put on music and then all the staff goes to sleep.
Yeah.
Why don't they have any program? Because say around that time no nipa be nobody will be awake to listen to them.
Yeah.
But President Mahama say most of the companies, government agencies, the industries, they ukoye passport queue. Me bahano me fa bank now me fa a buying bank. Me could line musa for more than 2 hours to be able to do a transaction. But me name say ebia me call from me will meet in bia ending around 10 p.m. Say 10:30 11 car. Due to good security and 24-hour economy, no, the bank will still be operating now. At that time, so I will not be in a hurry to do it within this time. In Tomo Omubeko Ejuma from 8 o'clock to 5, no, Omubepon, they will have what? Omu break. Then a new set of workers will come and take over. Omu running shift from 5 na ABA to 11 or 12 midnight, and now 1. Above 1 now, a different shift is taking over. From 1, they said the way I hear no filling stations are almost running 24/7.
Yeah.
Who call every filling station now? Almost running 2 shifts. But filling stations are running 3. If anything, 24 hours. No, almost running by 3 shifts. They say a airport shell because 8 hours until they employ 3 times the number now the other ones too are employing. Until President Mahama say due to deliberate policy or the way ever. Bobie, this is one of the best policies, a game changer. TUC Krankai, Professor Jampumu, any other trade experts, say this is what will be the game changer in terms of job creation. Because then will be promised to Juma, that's a Juma ni a napkwa. Some politician who are the person. Because they're just sustainable. Bobie 700 Ghana cedis. A Juma, Uko Ejumaka, you don't even know what you are doing. How much crowd are you feeding you and your family? But President Mahama say, let's get you in. Usobe to be a Juma or Ghana gas. They operate 24/7. Omu current staff strength no, ebe increase at least by 35 to 40%. Until wow, aban we MPP useless government no dreams you are only good for NAPCO. I will be 700 no. You too, you can work at Ghana gas and earn about 8,500 a month. President Mahama, that is what is bringing. All of us have become advocates for such 24-hour economy. That is the only hope Ghanaians have now. Bobie, to conclude, no, Monsieur military man be.
Yeah, Pacho use your microphone.
Monsieur military man be recently.
Yeah.
Okay, me say me ba, I will come and tell you. Say the only reason why some disturbances, any coup ni sa nyoma na ekosu in the other West African sub-regions to enkosu Ghana say. The people say they have hope that President Mahama is coming.
Straight.
Also, that is the only reason.
That is a fact.
Now, I can say, in the unlikely event,
that's a fact.
Say, you know, President Mahama
doesn't. In fact, a national security document they have. A survey,
almost say, it's a soldier. I'll say that is the only reason why. They are pretending to be okay because that is why hope is coming.
That is why they were insisting. Good system. Time on flag bearer. Oh, and this bear your mama do buy a nyakra kabunya ni pafo fra. Research and they have the document by 1 year ago.
Mrs. So President Mahama is the only hope. People are suffering. In about 1 year, no. The nation builder is coming. The savior is coming. You must start the work now.
But Adam, so problem.
No. We can't afford to fail. We can't afford to fail. You know one of the things I hear me there. 3 days ago, Michelle National Chairman, he told me a lot of things. But one of the things that he told me is awareness on one name, and he said it, Adam, the way the people of Ghana are hoping and believing that we will come and save this country, we cannot afford to fail them. That's what National Chairman General Mosquito. This is what he told me 3 days ago, Monday morning. Because of that awareness, no meaning say he will also provide the kind of leadership at the party power. That's all we want.
Because someone will say, "I'm a penny bunny." A draw name collab.
Bobie, Papa, Ebesi. But let's be aware.
But now, as for JSB Musa say, assembly elections, no, one better.
Better.
No, those affected areas.
Affected areas. Yeah. According to electoral commission, almost vote. But I think what the own person say because of camps, no. Almost the friend is saying polling stations, no bar. They will help the people to identify. They will be able to do it.
Okay, to the camps.
Yes.
That is how they can identify.
Yeah, that's how they can identify most of the people are now in camps.
Okay. Mary, Mama last shot. No, me uncle. Mama last shot.
Mama Ansah for J. My former regional communication officer.
Yeah. Ansah for J. Mechiao.
Obi me de mera hu ye wosam ti amaye din
too horrible.
Mera hu ye pa kire se disabled for a omo ba ha ye nuanom a edi dem kakra omo ba ha ohun se na maame no de oti wheelchair mu no no osun wa bonten o se ni ti omo de ade ebo ni tim
owuram no omo de gate no
ebo ni ti crash no oba sebe ne nine enye a woti hwil mu a mo yuso no de agigi sika na mo de akogu Sicilia da pa fie ebugu kenofori ata fie akufo adro ne yire Samira Bawomi a mo de to bags akese na oba we
2 years in the scale room eya o yan so am de mo 18,600
na 2 years ne kwa na o mo ye adwuma nti na o mo ye den na o mo didi
18,600 how
2 years salary
18,600 no mutu abuka say 600 cedis.
I dey na me hwe yi bi na me gugu ne ma bia na mko hu
18,600 no omo de betra your friend say
omo de touch champagne 2-3 bottles na asa
2-3 bottles
they say one champagne omo de ne
$10,000 ni ade
omo de ne say na ko back fancy back here
na mwati asede ne kura na say
one dey say no dey local one krama wo mo dey mo abro no so
nobody minumbi minumbi see na
be dey yellow card say
then na be mo say obudu sika yi minimbi
wow and then me google no ma bia and I came across one release be on the 7th of September 2021 there is this lady a friend of Professor Ya Bedu I recommended said there should be an increase in Akufo-Addo's salary. That is from 30,000 to 48,000.
I know money $1 million.
Now $1 million no just as hard we say no an obeka ye na hwehwe ni mu na wo de ya.
Ebi ma bobada.
It is an yoma ya e koso yi disabled for a salary for 2 years. San crofo we mo omo wo hen. A glove for no woman wa hen. Professor Martinuma ye friends MPP for ko yi ba wo me a less than 24 hours omo to ano aso for the clergy for na womo to ano congratulate. Enti nsam we wo monte ana de omo te de omo pese omo te e na omo hu de omo pese omo hu na obabesia mami obewo ma wo na okọ no makọ present petition yes na disable the demonstration be kwa no betimi aye wo mo tete ayi hwiche mu hwa na epi omo makọ demonstration bi e be say
yakọ ye omo ehun complain na police for say disable for no bu omo a ministry for security for
nyame betua wo mo your free police nyankopon betua ne ka how hwe mami omo eba ha omo ka se ba ko ne nanye ba ko de wo ye nifra complete a no wa me na me ma ne akonwa kra so ne sam na tene osipim akonwa ne mu ka areho oba besia multimedia de aboniti ama wote wo sunsa how aglo for mo wo he maame professor Yabedu wo he de okọ recommend say ento akufo ado sikam akufo ado ti hoyi ye mani siketu ya bibia de mano kickbacks ahodo cash for seat ahodo now say akọ recommend say ye mpege ni sika from 30,000 almost 29,800 and something to 48,000
enya day
disabled for
the maame no okasa yenya ono maame ne day
say we are near man appointment aglo for esun ye fre nyame hwe ga no man na bre no and na wo wo he
give
some ambassadors.
She has been given a board or whatever.
One Bobie me de mare ho sempa na me can see you say me your ba me hwe say den maame ni sun sa na eye ahometesem enye se omo ye demonstration disabled people e dey no betumi aye omo kotobo ana omo de abai kobo obi na road minister wo bro foko na chi se me die na watimi afre police ese police emeche omo amampa Ghana police IGP watimi asoma se ye nkwachi disabled fo akwachi disabled se tete akonwa me bi nan ni ho ebi ani afra akobo wo mo because omo present petition to the okay say yeah obi ko submit petition here my police to meet na bone dia NDC for youth organizers yeah chair wo wusu bempa His Excellency John Dramani Mahama office 23rd November na omodi ahye no ye be chair no the petition no aba no so obeba beto NDC for office edu ho a ye nso ye be free police for adan na omoma Ghana rehosa minua ye honorable Edema na no kan se be say ofili so disappointed wo ken ofuriata a statement na obe read e me so me feel so disappointed in him for feeling disappointed in ofuriata. What you say? Yes, because why should you be disappointed? They don't have anything better for Ghana.
Wako Drew Cemetery. Someone engineer was say
What say What you say? What's the worker? But I could see the disappointment, you know, in his face. Why should you be disappointed in the already disappointed useless government? It's me can't share them about now honorable. Say makes me feel so disappointed because it looks as if I said no officer or move can be better. They don't have anything better to offer Ghanaians. And it's hard time say Ghana for Obama woman about woman who so. No man who say MPP are buying led by Nana Akufo-Addo. I will be replacing the whole through by Umiano or money bibi papa biara. Nemo mono. Omo for money that's one yina no omo areshe mu nyina ma Nyankopon His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. I was say wo ba that 24-hour economy no what dey be ye adwuma wo Ghana. What it means in say 24-hour economy and na per passport siketu agide ne and I understand say na me renew me ba passport ma me bi wo passport office obo free 2,000 Ghanaian passport and now already me akwama fill forms atua
2,000 cities
nyame ye me dancing obo started charging me free 2,000 me am fill forms on appointment no we chiri and I'm say there be my appointment date for the visa need is too close enti say me say me change there me nya ye na enye yi enti on twemre ni mu ma me no was started free 2,000 and ye be land 1,005 because me here me passport enti me tua ye and I me de koye enti His Excellency John Dramani say oba sa 24-hour economy na aboa man krobi develop no obey implement sa policies ni bi wo Ghana ama say what 1 hour per passport you don't have to pay somebody 2,000 cedis to get an emergency passport to travel rather no one more year passport no ebi be ye adwuma no pa ebi be ye adwuma wia na bia ye adwuma najo enti passport no no ane so wa fill forms within 24 to 48 hours no won sa kan passport. What it means ni say ebe create jobs. What it means ni say yama wo omo eti ho ye adwuma no ye be for security ebe create employment ama omo a security. Ebe create jobs. The create jobs no na ye sign a protective wo in terms of security. Na Ghana for mu mpewe na mo pedie. Se bibi wo MPP mu biem a anka ebe hu kakra ewo kenoforiata budget a ode ba ne na ne yehwe sa budget hopeless budget we ya useless budget we ya yehwe senseless budget we yehwe wicked budget we from wicked president and the vice president wa Ghana for mumfa money da so ene mompaibo enter his excellency John Dramani Mahama echi na nyame ya dom na se 2024 7th December no mokoto aba na motoma na might enjoy might experience the 24-hour economy a developed countries no mode ye adwuma na ye nyina ye ho atoye Bobie Ansah na mesre kwan me tia watie for na masre kwan.
Okay, so a quick text message from a friend was Bobie. So this lady, why don't you invite her every day? I beg me pacho akonta empne srewa. Okay, so wisdom Kafu Isibobie. I did my mom's passport last week and I paid 1,500 Ghana cedis. Chris Cow says, Dr. Mary, I salute you from Dubai. So we have Phyllis Bruce Smith says, Commander, I love this lady. Vivian Upon says, maybe that one wanted to become president in future. That is why she is calling for increment of president's salary. This one is coming from Vivian. Just
Commander,
have a bite.
Thank you, Commander. Media and not it's not very glued to the television.
Yeah,
because I have interest in whatever that the budget should capture. Because of say, financial cleanup in sense and man kakra akosuna. So any man who cost already cost one.
Brother say na I list to brother say.
Go make can say.
Yeah.
Maybe also group me lead you on Gold Cruise Fund Management. Now,
man come on seven.
About Gold Cruise for the budget.
Almost say.
Also the Gold Cruise as I risk of you. On the Gold Cruise have been risky.
You boss us why you bio.
On the risk.
Why you bio. Almost say.
And it's so strange, sir. I'm hoping, sir, the members of parliament, especially the minority this time around, they will be very vigilant in approving certain aspects of the budget.
Gold Coast Fund was saying.
They all kind of say, I'm reading budget portion.
Yes, I'm interested.
Paragraph 150 of the 2020-2024 budget. I say, Mr. Speaker, in addition, a provision of 4 billion Ghana cedis has been made in the 2024 budget to address National Investment Bank, that's NIB, distress SDIs, that's special deposit institutions, and other outstanding legacy challenges in the financial sector. Notwithstanding the ongoing litigation commenced by the stakeholders of Black Shell Capital Management Limited, formerly Gold Coast Fund Management, Gold Coast Security Limited, the SEC will continue to engage the the Office of the Liquidator and clients of the defunct Black Shield to reach a consensus on the framework for a bailout intervention and an amicably resolution for the impasse.
So, if I'm falling in.
What Gold Coast would you kind of say? What can Gold Coast or the NIB, any special deposit taking institutions, and Gold Coast are some Babe Cambum, and we Tresica 4 billion.
So Gold Coast is mentioned in.
Yes, but probably what I say. Gold Coast Sikano, I'm not going to demonstration 28. No, I demand say, sir, budgetary allocation on making in 2020 media budget, any 2021 main budgets, no. A sum up to 8.6 billion or man dispensable only 3.1 billion, no. Diakano, our fine. What share Diakan baby a wa? What share the expenditure finance ministry a claim so must spend so far to clean up the financial sector? 25 billion now. What should the component of the expenditure, sir? 8.6 billion against it. Tia Gold Coast forecast in 4 no is captured as an expenditure in this 25 billion. And the next, I say, yes, says ya abandon sign aqua for taxpayers money for fraud about the tria ka our brace can or mine didn't care my
in the back of the way
now adia ba ho so e wa so ne say so the Gold Coast waka ho Gold Coast for kwasika as we speak the aka e 4.6 billion and wa ba allocate 4 billion and the ma NIB any savings, any other savings, SDIs, any Gold Coast fund management. It is the ABC to say, how is he going to pay Gold Coast customers in full with this 4 billion
which
allocation?
Is obviously Nyadi Ambenya full.
No, we HBC.
Anyone who hear the other HBC.
Yeah, it's what I'm saying. I dear Baho Crown say, a casina and what questions you say, a cassin and a walk a year NIB mu, a cassin and what SDIs the mu. And a Gold Coast was kayesing. I'm expecting say a year member of parliament, no a year parliamentarians. Or maybe some questions wing. What we can scam on company you know me and some and as I do interest scam was a me here scam. No more prove on the corner could be. Get to make us yen sick and I want to send a chrono on the Gold Coast for Babu Bonnie saying. Yeah, protest no on the 11th of November. Security Selection Commission regulators almost issue a year statement. Statement almost issue the almost can't you know say. And yes, a finance ministry edi sikano wo ho. Na ebom a year liquidation on the case e cost to na almost chase sikano. And it is a regulator is sikano wo ho. Aden na wo sign abo ye di and ya sign a budget we kwesika so
so simply first one omadi
maybe to be omadi ye
yeah way
any kind of for yata
ne one wa oni ye no ayan de
oh to me this is Kwabena
yo
oh to me the only be saying
yo
only be saying
oni an go fama
oh Kwabena oh to me this is
akroma de ko
Kwabena oh to me this is some members of parliamentarians that na ho na some approve say sika we bio mano so of ambraya and you say sika no mo di ye di kan no mo di ye and this for the MPP for MPs now they got their shares. I'm telling you sare chere Kwabena sare chere ye discount house ye the amount so wo ho kwan so wo hwe so now the amount bi come away ni para ba se men sankanya ni pa di sika ni kan so mana san ba se sama biska no sa tamama no what the che di kan di ye and weigh a great indictment on the reputations on especially minority for na because MP before there and majority for there so there omo you can of retire
no
hope it me samo yewura atoforsen wone odom wenkwa die mo fa mo nice for mo ho I guess a indictment our reputation. Say, Jiska come away on the aba, my year, no asamba, so what you no asamba, okay, Sani Pacrona, your son in the car, our Brian on the hay. No way. And it's way, yeah, but say, I a detailed press release and return upon that one thing. Yeah, copy, you're rabbing any minority. Said no. When quadie and press release is wo na ye be attach so almost sika no ho name of litigation na cost it is kind of what there's no need for a new allocation for approval for your payment and it is a 4 billion Gold Coast for the woman no omo team film na omo hu the account de come NIB ne SDI for no na any the omba approve but Gold Coast for pass yet yeah makwan mo sa approve sika for sika na ho
Tabia Heba Center for the Tabia Heba Mixture and a Tabia Heba capsules aba among phone to me so Mesamo me draw no and CMG scatcher dear no and pressure bam so studio but first winner no kwano obia the thousands says here me who say second person so the 1,000 Ghana cedis mecha 2 me pa me mam the next 5 minutes muncha last one kwabe 540 duma fidie no mame number be enwuramu bio 540 just 5 minutes but nipa 2 at 1,000 Ghana cedis each yaw just a bite minimum so you benya adaja ye adwuma ochira
and then I'm kind budget
sound mate there be sound mate so opa cho so won wentie fute
I don't think so na ehun hia kra say wo so bitie because
me na me hear ball
baby your mind drew no in here say omo the problem no nipa benya adaje etie problem or discuss a problem.
And yes, sir, na creative problem. No, they are the problem.
They are the problem. And I didn't give it my already very busy ear, which would rather listen to wise counsels and wise sayings that I think will better lives. Oh, you know. I would want to I would want to defer my analysis for another day and then please have him the time.
Anyway, it's yeah. Anyway, so it's so unfortunate. I have the next 5 minutes to go. But I think talking to Awin Gobert on budget issues, even 5 minutes, we will get what we want. And that quick one, your opinion on this budget.
Well, thank you very much. The pressure is too much for today.
Yeah, I can tell.
They say a inkunim budget, but for me, I think a nkugu budget, because Ghana will never enjoy Christmas. Yes, IGP would send the police to patrol to keep the town, the city peacefully, but the ordinary Ghanaian will continue to buy products, goods in the market at the same at the cost in which we are. I can tell you, Bobie, a more bag 25 kilo will not cost you less than 500 to 600. I could call one chicken of cotton will not cost you less than 300, 350, 400 because of the tax in the port. Nothing has done about it. Prior to this tax, you can say at least COVID levy should go off in the bush because it was for a purpose. Now, before Jitum say, and say, Yabadidra on the sick nation is not the best. So I say, part of our responsibility is support the buying. And only 1% the buyers. See, WHO was the one who sanctioned you to put restrictions in place. World Health Organization, and then almost say all nations to erase should do away with restrictions because it's no more a pandemic. Why are you continuing collecting that COVID levy in the port? Upfront tax, 2% VAT upfront tax at the port.
Yeah.
And then, or see, we even expanded to vegetables importers.
Meaning what?
Meaning what? Which vegetables importers?
No, meaning what?
Meaning say, or the Umbaka, that means they are expanding the wider net of upfront VAT importer. Which
any percentage say?
Say your VAT of 15%. 15%. In fact, it used to be 12.5, and you brought in the media budget review 2.5 increment, making it 15%.
Yeah.
Get fund 2.5, make it 20 something plus.
Yeah.
Then you say, oh, after they clear and go and sell, they don't come to file tax at the GRA. For that matter, send the pananya file the goods and commercial value is more than 200,000 or 200 and above. Or by you, why you collect you that VAT of 15% import duty on imports, then your import duty, then your get fund, then your health insurance. Or by that, till CIF 2.5 again. Yes. Meanwhile, Abano has forgotten that yes, maybe Nipano or your one-time importer, and now or your beer importer bar or cotton, but he paid upfront tax of 20 something because over 50% VAT import and 2% get fund and health insurance. Nipano, what is covered? What's that? Jiska is supposed to be consumption. That upfront tax at the port. No, mean my confirm mobile phones are bar. Now man, top mobile phone the man list one and list one Chiamka. I cannot pay remit anything to GRA. Yet, Adriana or Habo, we see Chinchina. That's a medical on a medical and never toy. Then never a bombe. And a bombe. What is how about? So I can tell you, Bobie, the special import levy is still going on. The COVID levy is still going on. the VAT upfront is still going on. Within our sub-region, VAT import duty.
Now let's look at two things our boss. One, local manufacturers of sanitary pad. Oma will be taxes raw materials and all that. Then electric cars.
Electric, how many people are using
electric cars?
How many people are using electric cars in this country?
I'm just giving you
forget that cheap politics. That is cheap politics. And say in Kunum budget no. In Kunum budget.
I'm just giving
I can tell you, I have never seen. And I like the majority of parliament. He has done something. Let me applaud the honorable Minister. Because at the end of the day, the budget that the finance minister present was empty. So he cannot, if he stand on his feet, what will he say?
Wangasa.
Wangasa?
Yeah.
Vice President wasn't in the parliament today.
Yeah.
Governor of Bank of Ghana, who paid prime rate beginning of this year, it was 14.5. Echo 17, Echo 18, Echo 20, Echo 23. Say all in the case of to control the city depreciation. No, at the end of the day, inflation rate at the heifer. Yeah, we here. Who got the bank bushers and then who say or Timon Bono could say today who got the banker maybe because you loan a banker loan facility but you pay 20% and now 70% and now 16 or 40%. You could not because it's beyond him. It's overwhelming. Okay, yeah, that's it. Say we'll see. Or more manufacture sanitary pad. I was one of the people who advocate that sanitary pad they should not touch tax on it. Okay, so raw material the banner. Why we now they are important now? Why we know? Because those I produce, I'm not running away that they are not producing sanitary pad in this country. But at what quantities? Even utility tariffs killing them. Because you remember,
but even as they are doing that, so the luxurious tax on the sanitary pad still remains.
So quite clearly, you haven't done anything. And we are not saying Christmas we enjoy. We enjoy if I go tomorrow to the market, will I get akoko now? If akoko live akoko crop to our market, we get 200.
Oh yes.
So the scripture man, the watchman at finish of finance cannot enjoy Christmas.
You see, Leia, nenam din Leia nenam din. Say 120.
Bobie, $600 million now. Omoko Jibano. They gave a sector that first tranche was going to go. As we speak, Bobie, as we speak, do you see any contractors working in this country?
No.
So the $600 million, the first tranche that came, COVID levy, have they accounted for it? Know how much has realized about COVID levy? 30% cut off of government appointees. No, how much has it realized? What program are they using it for? We won't use V8. We won't buy V8 for 2023. I don't see V8 2023 model, 2022 model in this
running
country.
On our streets.
So what are you talking about? Who are you deceiving? So you live luxury life, but you want to you came based on the back of campaigning that we move us from taxation to production. You haven't met it.
Finito.
We can't applaud the finance minister. You to me say finance minister Obaka. Brofo no Obaka ye. Brofo no Obaka ye. Kurasu for ye Christmas no. Name any boy enko from that. Because finance minister on campaign. Inflation 35.
But also a stabilizing CD.
Saying by what percentage?
Also from February to 0.6.
Are you? Mbo New York. Yeah, but the tenant say
New York.
The tenant say go and tomorrow send your reporters all over the market. At the beginning of the year, no kita sika saying and we start sasi afeno sasi sika saying no kita de dijwa. Yeah, one November 16 actually 16 me boy.
Yeah.
We sika no we start edwa no. When is a first saying taxes are whisk any na kadompe. Dread for brepa. But Yamiwo.
Inshallah.
The attendant say ordinary person can buy cement to mold a block and build a decent single room so that only in bad track because of revenue I buy pay. Now I buy pay revenue. We use revenue a day. Bra, me meti ashama New York, meti kura, meti baby meti no. One day me do beko ho. Ene mo ko kwa me fa ashama New York. Even ashama township no krabo. Ashama township no. Kwa bia ni ashama. Yeah.
Omo New York, omo
kwa bia ni ashama. Last time it say deputy minister bia frɛ asempa no ka say oh ashama kwan ni na me say for the way me ti ashama me ashama man New York to go new road coming 22 kwan go and see my car and you said what do they call the money for scan on mujini na or the day consumption say finance health minister by parliament and okay say they were getting local funding to do the they said they are getting local funding resources to borrow to do the general hospital. Finance minister by now say ebe GOG business. Now next week contract na be ho. Truka you see but the 2000
yes but the one want to say they were in parliament nom kwaji approval for 68 million euros. For that project, they have the approval. No one can buy catches. They say don't use 50 million euros. So the 18 million away.
So Obia was say white. Minimum say say white. Ukuma ya white. Which say white? Over kind correct. Look today the vice president has run away because he now realized that it's now dawned on him that he can't go and defend this budget anywhere. And that's why the majority leader has done fantastic thing. Look into his eyes, say, my brother, I can't be on my feet to say what word will you use to describe the because you have what the expectation about ordinary Ghanaians hasn't met. Luxurious cars, no. Luxurious cars. How am I use luxurious cars?
Electric.
Luxurious cars. Abolishing VAT on aviation. Abolishing VAT on your friend is saying real estate. Man, what do we produce as a wahano? When we talk real estate. About over $500,000. Over $300,000.
I also wish I say your managers.
We managers. But I buy way by no TMU. I buy way by no. Or some or any kukum. The fair way friends.
The ponko.
Many yes. Also who chirokum. Who dakum sacrifice tied your belt. And also come scaffold. Because in a development country you can't go and abolish aviation fuel. Say, Nippon don't full plate. How many Ghanaians?
Now they are about to a commercial cars fuel.
And also VAT on real estate. Can I buy cantonment house here?
Thank you, sir. Our time is up. St. Andrews SHS. We are grateful. Yadamase. Dom Sukuwe Yana Yajatum Greenfield Scientific Bar Clinic say a bright soja capsules, bright Gallic Plus capsules. Afe top choco for ya damase papa prosini edro imbus heba mesha osi boost immune system and afe so Seahorse 50/50 engine coolant osi adroba for munyi bi and then so now style bi well packed. We are grateful production crew. Thank you so much. Your friend Bobie Ansah. Enjoy your evening.
Quick credit,